Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, this is the first day we are actually on Flint's Urban News Station, and I'm excited. I have a special guest with me, and she's going to be a frequent one. Her name is Miss Sheena Beckton, looking all golden and glamorized. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, Miss
Oh,
Bird?
look, I'm not golden and glamorized. I'm looking opaque. Okay. We Big shout out to our producer, Landon. This is a new journey as we expand getting out information to the community. Landon, how are you today? Because look, y'all, he had us cracking up.
I'm good.
Are you good? You good? Is that your DJ voice?
My behind the stage voice. Backstage.
Right.
He married. So don't be asking, is he single? I don't want his wife blaming me for nothing. Nothing. So, Sheena's gonna be with me on this journey, and I want to send shouts out to former Mayor Dr. Karen Weaver for allowing us to join with her on this platform. As we move in social media, it is forever changing, and this is a new home with 2 shows I'll be doing. So one show I'll still be doing on Saturday, and every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, we will be here. We will be here. So we will be calling in. We'll be having a call in because I want to hear from the people. And this is we're gonna make this fun. Yeah, it's a lot going on. I mean, look, boots on the ground. Where my fan at? Where my fan? Where those fans at? And I know how to do that thing. Y'all know I was practicing it. So listen, I need y'all to do me a favor. Click like, share, and subscribe. Click like, share, and subscribe,
y'all,
just to push this out. So we've got the news you can use and the views. So listen, Sheena, you want to start out with something before we get into it. Tell us about yourself, because people see you typing, but they don't see the lady or the woman behind it. Now, y'all, she had us late trying to look cute. She looked cute. No, I'm just joking. We had technical problems. Tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I really do appreciate it, and allowing me to join you on this new journey and just being a part of your service and your philanthropy and the things that you do. I'm honored and blessed, and I do thank you for opening up your space and your heart for me to just join in. I born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I've lived in several cities, and I currently reside in South Carolina, where I am loving it. I lived in the Midwest for 6 years. It's St. Louis. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. I can't. Nope. That snow, that cold. Y'all got it. I need the warmth. It was 80 something yesterday. My heart was just was full of joy. But yeah.
Well, I'm thankful that you're joining me. And let me say this. Outsiders are welcome on my show.
Please. Because we getting chat. They karate chopping us. We got the Kumite fight ring going on. And it's just, look, we come in peace. I promise.
So listen, look, none of us are native to this land. I mean, Christopher Columbus did not find America, it was already inhabited by native people. It wasn't the Americas then, okay? So it was already inhabited. So I am thankful that you're here because I don't want just my perspective. And look, drop in where you're at, y'all. And look, push it and click like, share, and subscribe because we're gonna be here every Tuesday night. And in the case, and we'll be here also if we need to just do a show and and pop out and show them. We gonna be here. We gotta do that. So I'm serious about that. It's a lot going on. So
A lot.
I want to say, I don't care where you're from. That's one of the things. Flint has a long ways to go. Our recovery we're still recovering, and we need people who care, people who are passionate. And so I did not want to do this with someone local because we need help. When people did the March on Washington, it was the largest march still on record protest in Washington. And there was many great people, a lot of our leaders who didn't really get along. You had was it Byron Rustin, great movie, Netflix, if y'all haven't seen it, who was a gay, want him out there because he was gay. And it's a good movie on Netflix. And he helped to organize. You had Dr. King, Malcolm X. You had, oh my God, you had, what was the senator first? I think it was the first black, congressman. You had so many people that were involved that had to come together. But back then, what kept Black folks together for that movement was the church. It was the church. People organized in the church. And so we as fragmented. So if you were in the church or you were in the mosque, or if you were Muslim, and so people worshiped and people stood together, understanding that as a Black race, we needed to come together. Flint is the division is real. It's real. It's real. It's real. And if you talk about the different, and you and I talked about this, different breakdowns of the different groups that we have. You probably got about 5 or 6, you know, and it's serious. And it is to the detriment of Flint. It really is because it's not working.
It's not. It's stalling progress.
So what do you see? Because you aren't from Flint, and I like your perspective. I used to read your writings. And I didn't always, I think the first time I'm like, oh, and I think I commented, I'm like, are you a writer? You know, I mean, everything that was in here made it to the paper. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, oh, wow. And I like that you are a thinker, a researcher, and that before you decide to put out your opinion, you make sure your opinion has facts. And that I appreciate you. And I was like, I still have your, I think the first one I commented because I screenshot it. I was like, oh wow, who is she? Does she write? Who is this lady? And so
I remember that.
You remember that? I was like, big words. It's not see Jane run, see Spot run. And definitely you got 3 vowels, eggs and ham and Sam I am. It wasn't So what do you see, Flint? I mean, how do you see us with our division?
I see the division as being something that, interestingly enough, I don't think that it's unique to Flint. I think that this is something that we see across the Black community in the diaspora all over. There's always a group of people who are doing something, but it's all towards the main goal. I feel like from the outside looking in with Flint, it seems like even if someone doesn't agree even on the slightest things, to them that means that you have completely chosen a side. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to just be that. At the end of the day, the goal is to ensure that Flint's infrastructure is completely rebuilt, that we understand that education is important, school system is important. There's so many things that have happened in Flint and the complexities of the socioeconomic climate and the political sphere is just all over the place. And so with the division and everyone kind of finding these pockets, it's not helping. And then those individual pockets may not like something that another one is doing, and then they pretty much detract and they are obstructing that group's vision into reaching the goal. And so what ends up happening is when you have different groups of people who are watching the other and they are injecting themselves or interjecting their own commentary and their own opinions and how they feel, then that group is stopped. Because now they're focused on this group who's talking mess or who's starting stuff, or then that group ends up reacting to something else. And before you know it, everyone has stopped. And everyone is focused on the mess rather than the water, rather than the corruption, rather than the fact that there's a council of people who have quite literally got band together to stop progress in the city of Flint, and the residents end up suffering the most because they're looking to start. It doesn't even have to be elected leadership. It can just be people in the community who they see as strong leaders. And when they see them engaging in foolishness, it's like, okay, but wait a minute, weren't we supposed to be making sure that our kids are safe, making sure that the water and the infrastructure, making sure that, we can get our homes repaired properly? So, people see that, and it's distracting. It's discouraging, I know, because there are days when even if I'm listening to what's happening, and even if you and I have a conversation or whatnot, and I'm just like, by the time you finish trying to break down all the mess, before you know it, you are exhausted just from that. And then it's like, how do you even think about the progress of the city when you're so emotionally now? So I feel like the energy towards each other, all of that negative energy towards each other, it has to be channeled to this administration and what's happening there, focusing on what's really going on in the community, focusing on education and moving forward.
And that's one of the things we do have to move forward. And so I think that people's opinions, and we all go through different stages. Nobody's perfect. And people make mistakes. I make mistakes, and I'm going to make mistakes. I made them in the past. And I'm going to make some in the future, and a lot of my mistakes, I try to learn from them. For me, it takes something that I did and learn from it. And so I purposely, for this show, wanted to have someone with a difference of opinion who was an independent thought that was not from here. Because part of our recovery is, as we have so many people come in, I want people to have a good view, because we have people coming in. We've had we've had Snoop Dogg, we've had the Real Housewives, we've had, every celebrity that has
many.
For our water crisis. And some come and they don't come back. Some, a lot of them donated money when we were going through the water crisis, or water, and then it's done, but Flint is still here. And they don't know as much about Flint as about Flint, because one thing that, when we're looking at some of these things. Oh, I'm sorry. We're doing some. Yeah, thank you. And so I think that we have got. There are some issues that they're very serious issues, and so I don't want everybody to think like me. I've been very upfront. I lived in Illinois. I lived there 15 years, going back and forth. My office was on Halstead Street, and then I lived in downtown University of Illinois, and then I lived in Country Club Hills, and I did that for years. And so for me, when you've seen something different and you've been able to live and be in different places, you have a different view of things. I lived in Saginaw, and that one was hard for me, y'all, because I knew my way to the expressway, really, and the grocery store. It was just, and I had kids, that one, and it could have been, Saginaw is small, It's a very small city, but I lived there, and it was different for me. It was different because Saginaw to me made Flint look like a big metropolis, or and Flint and Saginaw aren't that far. It's a 30-minute drive. And if you're looking at how the differences were huge. It really reminded me, like when I would go down south for the summers, it reminded me of down south. And it was a very slow way of living. My grandfather lived there then, but I think that we all got to have to take a step back and say, how do we move forward together? And I believe in uniting and unifying. There are people who say that they don't. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to welcome people who don't live in Flint, because I don't. If you live in Burton, Sandy shows up every week to speak. Her and her daughter, Sandy Odell, she shows up. We have people who show up, at city council because they care and they support the platforms. They don't just come; they come and they have supported people's platforms monetarily. And so when we have that's people showing, I do care about what's going on in your city. So, and that's just what it is. So for me, and I am not watching the comments. So listen, I would like for y'all to be kind and respectful, in the comments, because what I'm not going to deal with is no foolishness.
Oh, well, it's already slipped in, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm really not. We didn't have enough of that. Thank you. I got it on this one too. It has been enough that has happened this week. Now,
yes.
Listen, yesterday was enough, but then today was like, oh, Jesus.
Yes.
It was. And so I don't think that any one person is right about everything. And you're not wrong if you don't want to deal with outsiders. For me, I'm welcome you. And if you come into Flint, I'm gonna welcome you. That's my responsibility. And that's how I was raised. You welcome people. And I welcomed people yesterday when they came into City Hall. I did. So we're gonna be, before we get started, let's talk about, before we get into yesterday, and then we ain't talked. Look, if you on here looking, thinking I'm gonna talk about that stuff, what happened today between those two men, I'm not. Those two men need to work it out.
Yes.
I have talked to both of them. And I'm not talking about it. So can we show the pound cake? Listen, y'all. Now, y'all know I've been talking about that pound cake. So I get a call. I sent the link. Look, I ain't sent a couple people the link. Look, they're gonna be mad at me, y'all. So listen, I gotta send it the YouTube way too. And so listen, shouts out to the Blight team. Shouts out to Kamisha, Harletta. Shouts out to y'all, because without them, and some things be going on. They thought I was tracking that camper. I wasn't tracking that camper. Judy asked them, so she didn't tell me where. I do not have low jack on that camper.
Yeah, the street was out in the chat. It was in the comments. What do you mean? She didn't tell you.
Like, read it. It's right there in the comments.
It's right there.
Right there. Reading is fundamental. You didn't ask me. She didn't call me. She didn't text me.
Right. Wasn't she tagged? I think she was tagged.
She was hot at me for some reason. It was my responsibility. And look, that camper, I wonder if that camper is still over there. Now I might go looking for that camper. I might.
Hey, go live for that one.
Branch and Davidson Road. I might go look for that camper. That he talked about he was nice about it. No, I'm gonna take it to the dump. Man, come on now. Look, I didn't get this old to be because I didn't know something. That camper was stripped. All the wheels gone. They gone.
Oh, it was on the rim, sitting up on cinder blocks, and I was like, and then he took more siding off, and there was all the insulation flying. I'm like, oh my God.
Right now, here's that part, and here's the thing people don't understand. The city council has two branches. I mean, the city executive branch, legislative branch. It is technically not city council's responsibility to make sure you got a job, connect you with services. So the things I do, I'm a social worker. I'm a crime caper, I guess.
You're
I'm a,
fire
right,
marshal,
I'm a
foreman,
look,
you're a
I've been
detective.
kids before, literally. I promise you, I have. Those was not. I had no grandkids, but somebody called my kids. Look, I would be a granny by accident. So if you need your kids to learn about birth control, send them my way. Send them my way because literally I overtaught safe sex and no sex and abstinence. I need y'all to send them my way. Send them my way. But I mean, the stuff that I have to do, you know, I'm gonna share this. This lady called me this morning, literally in the midst of all that craziness. And she said she was cussing out everybody, the neighbors' kids. She was. She was cussing. They threw a bat, and I used to beat. I was like, "Ooh, ooh." I'm like, and I'm gonna say like, Miss Stone. She was going off. I needed that because Miss Stone and worked in the plant all these years. She retired. She's like, "Don't y'all come over here on my house with that foolishness."
I know that's right. She in her retirement. She said, "No, I've been there, done that."
Bruh, she wasn't playing. She wasn't playing. I used to feed them little bad egg kids. Then they over here trying to correct me. Little MF.
Yeah.
I had to mute the phone to laugh. But I needed that laugh because I was really in the moment of wondering what was going on. So back to the shouts out with the Blight team. I got distracted, y'all. I may be ADD, ADHD undiagnosed into adulthood. So charge to my parents not getting me diagnosed. Okay. Charge it to that. So, listen, but for real, I don't have it though. But if I can get a free check, I might claim it. But anyways, so he is over here laughing.
I bet. Because you over there acting up. I love it though.
So listen, when they call, I'm gonna show up. So the camper thing. So I go over there, and the camper turned out to him hot wiring. Stephanie, babysitter, firefighter, blight officer, therapist, nurse, drug
detective. Columbo ain't got nothing on this one.
We're all them hats. All them hats. And so thank you, Stephanie Rogers. And so I've been on the blight department a cake for about 2 year and a half. I don't know, long time. So now I owe probably about 10 cakes, maybe about 3. And so I get a call today. Hey, come here between this time and this time. I said, okay, all I knew was to come. So Beverly Lewis gave me a call. Beverly Lewis, I'm a rock with her to the day, all the way through. That's the one who runs the Hasselbrink Center, the new location that is located on Pearson Road. So support Hasselbrink, the new center that is located on Pearson Road, corner of Fleming and Pearson Road. So she calls, she says, hey girl. I said, hey, look, I need you to be by here, I said, okay. And I'm rushing to meet this deadline because I had a million things I was doing. And so I get over there and she goes, okay, hold on. And she goes to the back. She come out with this cake. It brought me to tears. Y'all know I be saying, oh, them. Look, I used to pay the Blight team with donuts, but the donut shop is closed down. Love my friend Equana Hartwell, because them donuts was making everybody. I know I would go up there and rep them with that. So I get there and she got the pound cake. Oh my gosh, she says, Mr. Gene made this. So he was in there playing billiards because we're going to be fancy. Billiards.
Billiards.
He was playing pool. So we go in there, and Mr. Gene is a senior. He plays in the senior tournaments. And I just had to hug him. And I was like, I wanted to cry, but I want my mascara to run. And so I told him, I said, thank you. He said, I'm surprised that the seniors I get that watch me, that listen, and they don't mince their words. And look, I'm gonna out y'all if they watching now because they church folks. Church folks don't play. I'm just saying.
They don't.
And I said, Mr. Gene, thank you. Thank you. He says, no, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. He said, you keep out there fighting that crime and fighting that blight. I'm going to bake you all the cakes you need.
Oh, that's sweet.
Mr. G, because that touched my heart, from my heart to yours. And so listen, so I opened that cake. Cake smelled good. Because I ain't baking nothing. My family come tell me some, look, we need you to bring it. I ain't bringing no dish for the holiday. Yeah, I don't do that no more. I'm gonna take cake. If Arnold Brown and them don't pick that cake up tomorrow, we're gonna be having that cake on Good Friday and Sunday.
Well, look, I bet you they on their way. I bet you they get their cake because you already told them. So they know that cake is coming.
That cake, look, and it smelled good. I'm like, he used real cinnamon and vanilla in there.
You can identify the ingredients.
It smells so rich. So shouts out to Flint's Blight team, Arnold Brown, Harletta, Martin, and Kamisha. So listen, I appreciate, I be calling them with some stuff. They be like, you lying. This is what they be saying. They be like, you lying. I'm like, no, got jumper cables, or this person got this. So they play an intricate role in keeping this city clean, and I appreciate them. I absolutely do. And so that's can you put a picture of the pound cake?
Okay, hold on now, Miss J. I'm gonna need you to calm down on this cake now, Miss J, because I got to get some of this cake too first.
What's who?
Miss J, bringing up this cake. This is my whole fourth time talking about this cake.
Miss J, that pound cake, I'm telling you. So when I took the picture,
get in line now.
I put it underneath the cake thing, so that it's on my page. So I put it on the platter because I wanted to properly display the cake.
Oh Lord, you want to properly display it for your own.
I'm not lying, I did, because my mom I be going over her house. I'm like, who baked you the cake? The caregiver. Cake plate. The cake dome, cake thing. Yeah, look, we fancy with this. Don't play. I don't know where my stuff is at. It's just some box someplace. So I took my mama cake thing. She shouldn't be eating cake. She a diabetic, but she had a whole cake over there. So it was, it wasn't, nothing was in there. So
Lord,
that's the cake.
Yes, Lord.
That is the cake. Mr. Gene slayed that cake. Y'all, they tell me bring a salad or something. I'm bringing some pound cake if they don't pick this cake up. But I'm also bringing Hennessy and Crown Royal.
Jesus. Oh, yeah. What family function? What is it without that?
This is holy. I am enjoying my family this week. So, they like to have their cocktails. And so, we are having, look at this, everybody on here. Thank y'all for logging in. Click like, share, and subscribe. And so there will be every beverage that there is. One thing, my family ain't cheap, and they're coming from everywhere. And I'm gonna say I'm very proud of them, even the younger ones, with what they have done that are way younger than me. Because one of them, Dominique, used to call me his aunt. But he is very, very, very well to do. Now, and some of them, there's some young, well-to-do folks, really, really well-to-do folks. And so I'm excited, and I get to see my great nieces. I get to see them. And so I get to see them.
Nice. Little break, a little emotional, get love on the family.
And I invited a couple folks, but if you have to at 2:00, everybody got to go home. If you have to 2:00, you will be in a family argument. And we were all wearing matching pajamas. Ask Carol, Christmas, we had to wear matching pajamas. I swear. Oh, matching pajamas. I mean, we had, it's just how we were raised. And to this day, the things, I don't have grandkids, but I did that with my kids, which they hated it. So there's the pound cake, Mr. Gene. Mr. Gene and Beverly Lewis with Hasselbrink Center, which is on the corner of Pearson Road and Fleming. Go visit and join. Keep their membership up. Look, don't nobody go up there and ask Mr. Gene for no cake. See,
It's too late now. It's too late now. Mr. Jean got orders on the way. Orders are on the way.
Listen, I'm on the public servant budget, so I can't afford to.
Now with eggs being $89 a carton, I know.
They keep us in court with attorneys too, man.
Yes, they do.
When my attorney call, he don't even say hello. He knows stuff that's going on before I even tell him. And you know it's Sheena. He don't even say, he'd be like, it's always a deep sigh. What's going on in Flint now? What? Just tell me why. You know, what's wrong with your folks and your cousins? This is how he come.
It is. He did. He said, "Oh, so this is what's going on." I was like, "Oh wow, we no greetings, like we
no, me and them family. We family now. Look, we got so many cases that are going on, and look, I can't look. It's taking any extra money I got. Yeah. So I appreciate him. So anyways, we're gonna move on. So speaking about the Blight team, where they cleaned up, did I send you the Blight video? So some of my stuff didn't get sent to you. It's on my page too.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's on my page. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Okay, so we don't have to put. I don't know if we have. Yeah, let's do the Blight team video. So listen, there's a dog fighting ring in my area, and everybody know I had and Stephanie will be cracking jokes. I had a rescue dog, and Sheena got a bunch of cute little dogs too. We have to show your dogs next time. And I don't know how you got all the pets. You are literally running a kennel.
I am a small petting zoo.
So how many dogs do you have?
I have 3. I have Burger, Fry, and Shelby, 2 Frenchies, and a beautiful Serbian Rottweiler.
Okay, and you have cats,
right?
right?
One
cat.
That's my old lady. That's the old lady.
Yeah. Okay. See, I ain't doing all them pets. My daughter has cats. Tell them, then your grand kittens. Mad I be. I hang up on her when she be saying that.
I love my little babies, my little fur babies. You got Burger. She'll be around here snorting at some point. So if y'all hear pig sounds, that's what that is. She's a Frenchie.
Oh, they're beautiful dogs. I saw your picture. So I had a rescue dog. I did not know how old he was. He had been with 5 people in our family, and his name was Shadow. I didn't rename him. And so I had him until I put him down a little over a year ago. And Stephanie called him Shadow the attack dog. Literally, y'all, he had a bullet in him. That dog was gangster. Yeah, it cost me $986 to find out he had a bullet. And my kids he had social issues, and he was so mistreated, and he was abandoned at my aunt's and uncle's house with his little dog brother. And he went to everybody's house, and they were like, "Oh, I don't want him," and they pass him on because he had social issues, and he would pee and poop and tear up stuff. Never did any of that with me. Yeah. Never. So he never did it. And so he had social anxiety. I get him doggy drugs. We just, we worked it out, and he was with me for a long time. He would sleep underneath my bed all the time. And he was supposed to be my son's dog, but he ended up being my dog. And so I believe in taking rescue pets. If you're not a good pet owner, don't get a pet. Just like now, I want a new dog, but I'm too busy. I would be a terrible pet parent.
Yes, please.
I would be a terrible one. So if you don't have time, don't get a pet. I mean, that would include fish.
You can't even take care of fish?
I ain't gonna call nobody out about them fish.
Let me get them. Where the chat at?
Water.
Oh, well, okay.
And how to get the water clear. How to get it clear. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but she in the chat right now.
Oh,
but
let me see. Oh Lord, don't tell on yourself now. Show yourself. Show yourself.
My fish caught Buddy. Oh, no. But anyway,
Shadow was my friend. We used to eat Chinese food together. Lord.
He was a hood dog. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a bullet in him.
He had a bullet in him, and we couldn't remove it because it was so close to like his vertebrae or his spine, and so we couldn't remove it. But it cost $986. That was just the last visit because he liked to jump, and it would, that bullet would move and it would, and I'm like, what is wrong? And they were like, we had a whole consultation. Went in, and me and the two older kids were there, and they were like, because they had taken him to the doctor, to the vet, and they're like, we need to come into it was a consultation room, and it had like a table with like a cloth on it and chairs. I'm like, okay. We go in there, and he's like, well, we want to tell you what's going on with Shadow. I said, well, what's going on? See, what had happened with the fish was, Stephanie, stop with that fish. We ain't gonna talk about that. I ain't call you out, but you know what happened to Buddy. And so we get into the consultation room, and I'm thinking my kids are crying at this point, like the dog is going to die. And they're crying, and they put up the which them x-rays was high. And they go, and so they go, Shadow has a bullet in him. I said, was he going to be okay? And at that point, my kids are like, could be on the floor, like rolling. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, okay, do we need to remove it? Look, how much is surgery? And he's like, we can't remove it for where it's located at because it may paralyze his back legs. I said, okay. And then after my kids got through, really, they loved that dog going through it. And we took him home. They gave him some pain pills. A few days, he was good. Shadow couldn't jump up on high things, but he had to figure it out. So when it was time, he got cataracts. We never knew how old he was. They guessed by his health of his teeth. And then it was to put him down. And I should have put him down a year before, probably a year and a half before, and I didn't. And I remember I went out to take him outside, and he sat by the tree, and I'm like, come on, Shadow. And he was by the big oak tree in the back. And he was like, look, you can bury me right here. I ain't moving.
Shadow was tired.
Yeah,
his body was weary.
Yeah. And the vet kept saying, you're going to have to put him down. Hardest thing that I had to do was put him down, And I made the kids, my son couldn't do it. I'm like, one day I didn't plan it. I just did it. And I come from a mom where I gave a funeral for a guinea pig. I did. The kids wanted one, so we did it. We buried them in the backyard and had a funeral.
Whatever for the babies.
It was for the kids.
We do it for the babies. We do.
Yeah. Now the guinea pig, that was my bad. Because I put in his cage plastic and under the chip so I could pick it up. And he ate the plastic. So I felt so bad. Yeah. Because you have to clean the cages. And I'm like, it was just easy. I thought. Big mistake. I did not know.
Poor Guinea. Rest in love, Guinea.
I named him Kirby after Kirby vacuums. We did. We did. Because my mama still got a Kirby vacuum. That was like a prison vacuum. That vacuum is still around and heavy.
Because that vacuum clearly lasts forever. How old is that vacuum? It's probably older than me.
Listen, that vacuum we got when I was about 4. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes. I mean, but that vacuum, when they used to come around, the Kirby salesman, it'll clean your car. It'll do paint your house. I mean, it did
everything. It saved your soul. It wrote letters to your loved ones. It was a pen pal. It fulfilled dreams. That vacuum did everything. And it was attachments everywhere.
It did. A whole big box back then of
Yes.
Box. So going on to the next thing. I don't know. Did we have?
I grabbed 28 seconds. I didn't know how long.
That's fine. We're gonna put up the. Yeah, I'm sorry for detouring off. My bad. Hey, Facebook. I'm gonna turn this camera around. Hey, good morning. Listen, y'all. I did the Facebook Live and I was with I didn't go Facebook Live, I only put the pictures up. So I'm in my ward, the 6th ward. And good morning. And in the 6th ward, I was showing y'all about the basements, where we had all the trash. And guess what? So listen, y'all, I talked about the basements, which are dangerous. Flint has burnouts, which go down to the basements. And so like the orange, people are literally backing up trucks and dumping into the basements. And so,
oh wow,
yeah, and so it's really bad. It's on my page. And so also the dogs, they were putting the dogs, that.
Ooh.
Yeah. And what's funny, you see that brick chimney, you don't see them doing brick chimneys anymore, really. You don't. So nothing's left but the chimney, the masonry, the bricks, and the front front stairs.
The front steps, and a little bit of, it looks like a little walkway right there.
Yeah.
A little bit of the concrete for the walk.
Yeah. So the blight department told me that the land bank will be destroying demolition in that home, that they put a sign on it. So when we talk about it and you contact your council person, which you should, things will get taken care of. They just do. They just do. And so I appreciate the blight department for cleaning that up. Yeah. So this right here, as you can see, one of the dogs, I blocked out his head. And so they laid him by the side of the road, but there were 3 more behind that building that were dead. 3 more. And so there's clearly a dog fighting ring clearly nearby, and may they rest in hell. And if I find out, because this is something that I am going to go after, don't get a pet, don't fight dogs, and don't breed them to fight. I have a problem with that.
Huge problem
with that. And so they're dumping the dogs behind in that alley. And that one they did is threw them up on the sidewalk and said, get it, or up on the grass. So that was between the city sidewalk and the street. It's where you can see right there is the sidewalk in the street. They just put them up there, didn't care. And they're fighting these dogs to the death. To the death.
That's awful. That is awful.
It is. It's horrible. It's horrible. And so this is something I am working on. I'm not going to let it, stop that. I'm putting it so we can now add on there, Stephanie. You can add to what my jobs that I'm doing. You can add to that. You can add to it. So
let me ask you this though: when it comes to the land bank properties that are in that condition, specifically those that may still be up and that do burn down, have they taken any kind of inventory or statistics as to how, like, if it's a land bank home and it's caught fire, is there any kind of data that shows what that looks like? Because it just seems like every night there's a fire, and then as the follow-up is it's a land bank home, or it was just an empty home or empty property. It just seems like it happens a lot. Is there any data that corresponds with if this is a land bank house that has burned again?
So it is turned in. So one of the things which after I think this one, the director reached out to me, and shouts out to him, the land bank director. And so he reached out and was like, well, Tonya, we talked about how do we have a problem. The problem is how quick the properties are, moved from it's bought by the treasurer, goes to the land bank. The city has their part to do to condemn them, give the condition of the property. And it's that system. And it bottlenecks. And there is a point that it bottlenecks to where they sit. And by the time it bottlenecks, it's nothing left. They didn't took out the hot water heater, the windows, the door. They took the garage doors. They took the cabinets out. And this is something we just had this conversation on Friday, and so we're going to finish it because it's battle. I said so. I told myself so it's bottlenecking and stuff. I know where it's bottlenecking. Him and I we are talking, and when we come with an issue, I think he thought I was being hard on him or the land bank. No, I'm not. I understand that you have a large inventory, but how can we work together to fix this? because we
Right.
know it's a problem. And so not, addressing the problem head on. And we talked about where it's bottlenecking and where what we need to do. And what it needs to be done is to have it be quicker to turn around to where they're for sale. Because what people don't know, and so land banks are created, you can have home ownership. But by the time you get them, it's nothing in them.
Right.
So you can get a mortgage from the land bank, and the mortgage, you pay it to them, so you don't have to have excellent credit. You don't have to have all the things that banks and mortgage companies qualify. Live in the city, they work with you, but the properties need about, if you're getting a house for 5 or 3, you need 75 to put in it, or 100,000. And so how do we close that gap? And so that is what him and I talked about. And what I appreciate with him is that we have always had a very open relationship and conversation, to where we can talk, to where it's not the filter, it's unfiltered. Okay, well, we got to, this is what's going on. And when I worked for the city, I worked in the building and permit department. And actually, I wrote a plan on how to make it more efficient, me and Jim Durian. And that's a part that goes through with the city. And at the city, we got some bottlenecking issues. And we need to fix that. We need to fix it. And so we have to realize that they haven't had demo dollars, Flint or the land bank. And so without them having demo dollars, those properties have sat for 10, 15 years. And so
Wow.
And some of these homes, you look at them, it's like, oh my God, the craftsmanship you'll never see again. Welch Boulevard used to be like a row of Tudor houses, beautiful Tudors, because it was very well to do, right off of DuPont Street, DuPont and Mason Street. All those Tudors are gone, and some were huge. I mean, and so we look at these properties that sit. So it has to be something that we can work with banks for financing, and then the city for getting it, not allowing them to sit that long, and working with the county. Clear transparency. The city and the county don't work very well together. Okay.
Clearly.
They just don't. And right now with this administration, it's horrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's terrible. And it's to the detriment of our community.
It looks neglected, like this, whatever. It looks like it's just neglected completely. And when you say demolition dollars, we just heard this man's budget the other day. I don't recall demolition dollars being in it. Maybe I missed it. So
that budget looked like Swiss cheese, and not the good one.
No, that was the stinky cheese, and we throwing in the garbage.
But what I would like to see when we talk about, say you are a young couple and a homeowner, and want to be a homeowner, you may want to get we used to have dollar houses, but then make sure, if we give them a dollar houses, shorten the amount of time that when they lose the house until they get the house from the land bank, that they could have rehab dollars. So, and then require that you live in the house for X amount of years, and then have certain terms to it for receiving it. New families will do that, because Flint is, we got a lot coming on. I'm looking forward. We've got Ashley Capital. They're just cut the ribbon on building 2 of 10. We've got, hopefully will trickle down to us with the $55 billion project that's in Genesee County, largest new development that in the entire state. So those are things that I look forward to help our community grow. And so that housing issue, literally, and me and Dennis, Councilman Pfeiffer, when we rode through, we really needed 2 cameras to show you, because you can see. You could ride down all day and see, and not just the bad parts. There's some beautiful parts, but the really, really nice big homes are over off of Miller Road. But you had pockets, like over in my area, you had over there where attorneys lived, over by Wabash, some of those. You got some nice homes that were over there by Northern. They called it New Northern, and those were nice homes. And so even Welch Boulevard coming down, come to think about it, we were Welch Boulevard where they burnt down. There used to be the old Baskin and Robbins and the bank that was there and all of that. Those had big homes. My uncle lives in one still by Euclid Street, and he lives in one. He takes care of my Uncle Greg. And so we've had so much, and the loss that they sit there for so long, that is a problem. So how do we shorten it? We have got to learn how to shorten it. And hey, everybody that's just joining us, do we need to make something happen? So
I was trying to.
So, and people see the blight, and we have to look at Flint was designed to house or 250,000 people, and I think at our height we were a little over like 210,000. We are now down in 1980s. We were like 160,000. We are now down to, they say, 78. Was 80, but we keep losing, and we got to turn this ship around. We've got to turn it around. And it's not being turned around, and we're looking at. I'm looking at it for sure. And so and that was our last census. I think it was like 80, 81, no 80 or 81, and I think they said it's down to like 78. So those numbers, I don't know. I'll put them next time I'll have the exact number because it's fluctuating. We need to make sure that we keep people here. One of the things that people leave for is crime. If you don't have you feel safe where you live, gunshots are not normal. Just let me be clear. They're not. But we become normalized to it. Abnormal behavior becomes normal behavior. And I can tell where a gunshot is coming from in the approximate blocks that it's coming. And so I've always been engaged, even before I was elected, because I want my community to be better. I want it to be better. And so other things, our school system. We have got, 15,000 children who live in Flint that go to school. 2,900 go to Flint that live in Flint. The other 12,000 go to a school district
outside of Flint.
Yes. And so how are we not? And Flint I'm a product of Flint school. Some great people. We have got some great things and people that came out of Flint. And so now you're talking about how do you rebuild once you've lost it? We didn't end up like Gary, Indiana, but close to. The saving grace was really, and people may not want to hear, the Mott Foundation. I mean, if we did not have those industries, a lot of people may not like them, but look, we have Mott College, the Ruth Mott Foundation, the Community Foundation, without that money, and saving, and then the reinvesting, downtown, we now have new businesses that are downtown. We have now more Black businesses than we've ever had. We've got, my sister is downtown, Drinks of Essence. She's downtown. We have
Drinks of Essence. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have got, I think, Wayne the Barber. We've got Tim's. We got, is it the Potato Spuds place? Is that the name of it?
I think you mentioned
Spectacular Spuds. We have Tim's Barbershop that's down there. We have a new one with a good friend of mine, Dink Sosa. He will be opening up a new establishment on Saginaw Street, I think in June. And of course, I've supported all of his. Now, they make my little crowds at the Vibes, but I will go, if you want some good tacos and good cocktails, go to the Roadhouse on Pasadena. Look,
the Roadhouse.
And they look
that.
IDs. I'm just saying, don't come in there 22 and 21. Them Thundercats don't run up in there. Don't do that because they're checking your ID. So if you look, if you're looking for good food and good drinks, they have great food. And so,
you have a beautiful downtown. I did when Dennis rode around and when he was driving around, I thought it was beautiful. I love watching that. That was gorgeous.
And I think that when we talk about people, how do we save downtown? You literally could buy, it's a building now, Second Street? Whatever. I forget it was like $26,000. You could have bought the building for a huge building.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Is it? Oh, wait, hold on. Hendrick Studios is down there. It's
Hendrix.
Hendrick Studio. Hendrick Studios is downtown too. So we have quite a few Black businesses in our downtown area.
Yes, please visit when you can. Hendrix.
So Oh, comma, yes, yeah.
Comma
And
bookstore.
comma's right there on that street. And that is with Egypt and Dorian, comma bookstore. So we've never had, I think, this much black business down there. Before, downtown is where you shopped at. My three sisters, Beverly's, the store was down there. That's where you shopped at. Um,
Uh-huh.
you had the
I
court.
love that you know these people. That
Yeah,
is so cool that like you can speak to these black businesses and also these are like people that you can just name off, like Hendrix, you know.
yeah. He's like, and Hendrix Studios is downtown. Dorian was actually my ward. And so I'm usually his last customer on Christmas Eve because, yes, y'all, I shop the last minute and I go in there. I be like, look, I need some books and some hoodies. Because I got, well, only one read books is my daughter. That middle child looks at pictures. He grown now. He's 29.
It's okay, baby. The pictures are still interesting. You can get a story from the pictures. That's all right.
That's right. That's right. Hey, look, he laughs like, you're a public servant. You know, I make like 5 times more than you do. And he does. I'm like, that's right. Bless your mama.
Yeah.
So
it means you raised them right. It's a testament to your work.
I have no problems with my children, and that is a blessing that I sowed into them. And my kids have great fathers. It's 2 fathers, 2 marriages, and they have great fathers. So my kids did not, they did not go without. But anyways, so let's go on. So that upcoming, let's go to the city council meeting. So I know it was a lot.
Which one?
Well, the city council meeting that we went to, I mean, look, yesterday. Yeah, that's it. So listen, we managing to get some stuff done here. So the city council meeting, yep, it's at the 10-minute point. And so let me set it up. So when we got there, the meeting was over. They couldn't wait for us to come. They pulled the box early because they didn't want to hear the people speak. They pulled the box early. And so by the time we got upstairs, Candace had adjourned that meeting for lack of a quorum. Liddell was sitting in the back. And she was there, y'all, because let me tell you, when I pulled up her car, the alarm was going off. Bang, bang, bang. But she wouldn't come join the council meeting to keep it going. She didn't. So she stayed out as not to get a quorum. That's y'all council president. And so you had there Jedediah Brown came and he brought a whole bus load of people and to have them to deal with Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Super Mayor, to have this type of support from Dalton and area. Some were Chicago, because I talked to as many people as I could. I appreciate them showing up to be like, in spirit, to give the support. That is really awesome. I am
that was a blessing.
That was. I mean, and the people were genuine. They were genuine. And so your girl got up there in line dance. I did.
I was about to ask, did you get down there and cut a rug? Because I did see JWC. She wasn't with the group, but she was jamming on her own, and I'm with that. I like that.
So I was trying to be with the group, but look, I had to look. Them too many steps. When we learned the hustle, it was 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, dip. It was then turn. All these hustles. I don't have time for all of that. So I got a couple of the steps down. I got the doom, front, side, back, cross, and then I'm done. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I'm just gonna pop my fan on the beat, and then that's it. That's
all you got. You can't do that.
All I got. I'm not even trying.
Did your black hat? Did your black hat?
You want it? Well,
listen, I'm learning this weekend because my nieces are gonna be here, and they're gonna talk about me so bad. I know it. Ain't time. You can't do that, little girl.
Mind your business, baby. Mind your business.
Look, London, little girl. Don't play. I'm gonna work on that this weekend. But look, all I know to do the fan. But yes, I would not. And let me tell you, I was always taught that you welcome people in, and that's what I believe in. That's me, and that you show them graciousness when they coming into their house. I'm a council person for my ward. They were coming into the council chambers, which is the people's house. They came to the people's house, and I was absolutely going to welcome them and speak to them and talk to them. And I hugged everybody because I'm not a real handshaker. You know, they decided to get on the bus to come to support us. You know,
took off work and did whatever they had to do, and they showed up. Yeah.
And for me to support. And so I appreciate. So I tried to do, but your girl I need to go to Hasselbrink. The seniors can outstep me, y'all. The seniors. Lord. And they can kind of, like, nah, do it this way. Y'all taking it too serious. I need some margaritas, then I loosen up, But we go. So this is the part. So you see the blue shirts. It says Focus Flint, and let's play. You're gonna hear. They'll try to play some. Hold on a second. So I want to set up. So we were told. Let me set this part up. To the left is Mark Quimby back there near the wall, and so they had to come back in, and they weren't gonna come. So people saw me running back and forth. That was because I was working with the clerk, working with Mark Quimby, get them to come back. And so, but then they were like, "Oh, we coming back, and if we coming back, we're gonna only stand for the public hearing." No, and then the public would not be allowed to speak. We are public officials. It's in the name, public officials. So I want this to be very clear because I don't want no misinformation or lies. Dennis, Jonathan, Jerry Winfrey Carter with the hyphen, and I were all on the same page. We stated together because I'm telling, I said, hey, look, they're not coming back. Going back and forth with Davina. No, don't start yet. Let's put it at ease. And so we had come together and we said as a team that, well, you know what, if they're breaking quorum, and I said, I'm not saying, if they're going to break quorum afterwards and they're that rude, I mean, I'm not doing this because they had this people wait. We had a whole hour in between, literally a whole hour. And that's where they was, doing the boots on the ground. We were not, no, you can't cuss on here. Absolutely. No, you cannot. And so in between this time, you will get blocked. And so they weren't. So as we were trying to get that, I was trying to get with Davina, get with Mark. We're trying to see. Then they walked in and they did give them a standing ovation, and it was not a good standing ovation at all. And then we did the meeting, but we were in agreement. If they did not, as you see, Jerry was supposed to put the motion, I believe, on the ground, put it on, but all that mess, nobody was putting up with that stuff with them. I know I wasn't.
Yeah. I
knew I wasn't because they were they had no intentions. We were told they weren't even coming back. And then they were saying that they weren't, they were going to do the public hearing. They were going to break quorum, all of them. And I'm like, okay. And so this is where you say, that they were, and I told Jerry, I said, hey, I need you just to put, you do you put it on the flow. I'll second it, and, we'll, let's go that way. But no, respect the public. So let's play the part where they did not want the public. Is my mic on?
In accordance with City Charter Section 3-201, for the purpose of electing a council president. First, I will take the roll call. Mr. Al-Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present. Point of order. Didn't we already call this meeting to order?
We did, but you didn't have a quorum, so.
Okay, please make note of that, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Present.
Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 7 members present.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Priestley?
I'd like to make a motion to move the public hearing in front of the reading of the reorganizational council.
Ms. Priestley has made a motion to move the public hearing to the first item on the agenda. Is there a second to her motion?
Support.
Roll call on that motion. Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
The vote is 3 yes, 4 no. That motion fails. That takes us back to the organization of City Council President. The City Council shall elect from its members a presiding officer who shall be known as the President of the City Council.
Clerk,
Mr. Pfeiffer,
make a motion to move organization to the end of council, until the end of the agenda.
Support.
Mr. Pfeiffer, supported by Ms. Priestley, has made a motion to move the organization of City Council to the end of the agenda, which would be right before final council comments. Roll call on that motion. Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat. Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
So now it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
And we're going to ask for Councilwoman Priestley if she will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
you try to set me up and have me pray. She knew I wasn't gonna pray with her.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Do we have any council member that would like to remember someone at this time? Thank you. So now we're on to the prayer of the blessing. So Councilman Burns, could you please lead us in the prayer of the blessing?
Madam Chair, I will decline that. Maybe there's a pastor here who could do it since we're at an official council meeting. Let's see if you-
Oh,
I'll decline.
all right. All right, so Councilwoman Mashat, would you please lead us in prayer?
I can. If all minds are clear. Heavenly Father God, we come to you now in Jesus' name, just first and foremost, thanking you for this day and time. Thanking you for your grace, your mercy, your love, and your favor. Thanking you for keeping us all on the good of those who are called according to your purpose.
And disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. So now, do we have any requests for agenda changes and additions?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Pfeiffer.
I'll make a motion to put public comment in front of the public hearing.
All right, there's a motion to,
I made a
okay.
motion.
All right, so
change
there's a
that.
motion on the floor to put the public comments before the public hearing.
Madam Chair,
is there
I'll
any-
support that motion.
Oh, okay, supported by the councilman in the 5th Ward. All right. So this motion that we're about to vote on is to put the public comments before the public hearing. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley,
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat. No. Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis,
No.
the vote is 4 yes, 3 no.
All right, the vote is 4 yes, 3
Madam
no.
Chair.
Go ahead,
since
Mr.
it's-
Pfeiffer.
Since it's your intent to break quorum after the hearing, I will not be staying to this meeting.
Madam Chair,
All right.
I too will not be staying for this meeting.
Okay. All righty. So we still have a quorum here, so we will proceed. So now
Madam
we would like
Chair.
to go on with the public hearing. 1 second. Go ahead, Councilwoman. Oh, okay. All righty. So, Ms. Burns, are you about to leave as well? Okay. Well, this meeting will be in recess for. So this meeting will be recessed for 15 minutes.
Okay. So
Child.
So here's the thing. They didn't let the people speak, picked up the box early, and then shut the meeting down so that the people couldn't speak in special affairs. You're not gonna keep treating the people like crap.
Yep.
I don't care what
And for you all to stand in the gap, that was exactly what needed to be done.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
I don't want people to keep saying we are independent for what's right. And that's the one thing. I mean, Dennis and I were talking. He said, well, Tonya, I kind of like the 4-4 because the good things make it through that are supposed to, that really affect the people. And 5-5, they just pushed everything through. They pushed through our administrative consent order. They pushed through them goofy rules.
Yeah.
They pushed through things that have hurt and crippled this council. And so when people who don't read the charter need to read it before they comment on it, the charter and those goofy council rules, what we can and what we cannot do. We cannot change any of the rules until we get 5 votes. We don't have them because Judy is, and then let me tell you, it's the stupidity at its best. We have said in council chambers, Judy, you have 2 that need food and for food out of the food category. Put all 3 together. We will pass all 3. Put all 3. She's got 2 on the east side. We're saying we support them, but we're saying St. Mark's too.
Yep.
And so they're saying, no, we're not going to do it, and I'm like, why?
No one eats because they want to spite
Right.
you all. It's crazy.
And with Liddell, because Liddell has a problem with Pastor Thompson, and the thing is, he does great work in this community.
He does.
And for those who are in this community, they know he does great work. And I'm going to defend him on that because I do not attach my wagon. I didn't do it with Beverly Lewis. So I looked at her 990s that they were in order because they accused her of everything. You would have thought that they stole their clothes off them while she was wearing them. They accused this woman of everything that there was. And so me and her, I went through her 990s. She said, oh, I didn't know how to get to those because I need to speak. When I'm speaking and supporting, I need to make sure I'm given the right information. I'm speaking without fear. I'm speaking with my knowledge that I know because I checked and verified for myself. So
because you're putting your own integrity on the line to speak up for someone else's integrity. Yes, absolutely.
And look how they came after Beverly Lewis. Just dragged her.
They did. And it was relentless. And it was at every corner and every which way possible. They went after her, and it was just unimaginable the things that they did.
It was crazy. And so I have supported Pastor Thompson. I don't get kickbacks. I don't ask that. I don't ask anybody who come into the city to pad my pockets or donate to my charity or my nonprofit. Let's do good work.
Right.
And so with that part, Pastor Thompson, all of the pantries, Bethel is in my ward. I gave them half of my ward money to feed the community, which is on the cuff. The back part of my ward is second ward, and then and it's back part is second ward. The other part is sixth ward. So you see both there in that line. And I put on. They passed the 50,000 for Bethel Church, Bethel United, who does great work. And my thing is, take the emotion and the feeling. I ain't got to like you. If it's something for good work, we're not going home together. We're not going to sit at the table and we're not going to have cocktails. We're not going we ain't doing none of that. And so
it's the business of the city, doing what you have to do for the residents. It's what the community needs. Yeah.
So because Judy is so beholden to Liddell, it's a dangerous connection to be beholden to Liddell that you will not make sure your projects get passed in your ward. I don't want that kind of friendship. Want that kind to where she gonna let people go hungry because she's beholden to Liddell Lewis.
And she's neglected her ward in its entirety.
There's one more vote. You got 4 votes on the one side. Vote to put all 3 up. Her ward should be outraged. It should be outraged that she's understand. Well, I'm not gonna do it. Pastor Thompson ain't never did nothing to her. Let me say this. St. Mark Church has never done nothing to her. And I'm tired of people coming for St. Mark Church. They need to stop it. That man out there, rain, snow, sleet, doing what he needs to do. And it ain't because he getting paid. Pastors ain't rich. Look, he don't have no Benz, no Bentley, no BMW. You got an Equinox, y'all. He ain't rolling like that. He's doing it because he loves the community.
Right.
Loves the community. And he ain't in no pastor cliques. He's standing alone because he don't really want to be in no pastor clique. Let him man serve his community.
And he serves it in a widespread way with not just food. He also senior services.
People he's feeding a month. And some months it's 1,200 because we have an influx of people who are living in our neighborhoods and living in that neighborhood that are non-English speaking. Non-English speaking. And so when we look at this and we have an immigrant population that are moving in, they are. And guess who buying up the land bank houses that look like ain't nobody gonna live in? They are, and fixing them up. They fixing them up because they no home and they live in them and they fix them up as they go. And so when we look at this part that our community is changing and where our support, I don't ride on clicks. I don't do that. I didn't have people call me and ask me for stuff who did not like me. Can you help me? I'm gonna help you because that's what I'm supposed to do. When people win other people, I will do it, and I'm gonna still do it today because it's not. I don't do clicks. That's not me, and I ain't got time for that. It's too much work. As we talking, you can't talk about building Flint and just have a click because we got to all come together on projects.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
All these different clicks. Once it comes together, everyone has their role to support the goal, and you can't just siphon off of each other's mess because again, that stifles the progress. And so you working for the integrity of yourself and your neighbors and your community, that means everybody can eat and everyone gets to see the community revive itself and grow.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So, I mean, I do want to say for this part, I enjoyed the people coming from Illinois. That was a beautiful thing to get them together to show support.
Yeah.
That show to have a sister city, and a lot of cities have sister cities all over the world in different countries too. They'll have a sister city, and to show and to get on, and even having the children, letting them see how government works, because they had a whole tyrant of a mayor. Everything she did almost looked like the stuff that's happening here in Flint. Okay. And so they understood and recognized what we were going through, that it was the same things that they had seen. And so when we look at that, it's the same people, the same issues that they recognize that, hey, we just came out of this. We coming in to help. We support you. And for that, I salute them and I say thank you to them.
Absolutely.
I tell you. Oh, I'm good. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, okay. And so for that, I salute them and I say thank you. I will not get into the part with Jedediah and Arthur Woodson. Those are two grown men. They need to fix it, and they better take God with them. And I'm not getting into that. I've talked to both of them today, and I had a good conversation with both of them. And I know
they seem receptive.
He was, which both were.
Oh, well, yeah, both. Yes, okay.
Both were. Both were. Art called me. I don't know how many times. Woodson called me how many times. Jedediah called me once because I've had a relationship with him, and so we had a conversation. And I told him how I felt, and it's going to be a second part to it. Today was kind of busy. Today was
a lot. It was a lot, and emotions are extremely high. And I think you have a little bit of the momentum of people trying to figure out where they fit in, because that clash of the outsiders, and then we are trying to do stuff, and then you have those in Flint who want to see the city progress. A lot of us outsiders, back to your point, we've seen this. I'm from Memphis. I've lived in St. Louis. I've seen what happens when the landscape of these communities change so rapidly. Also, here in Charlotte, I told you briefly about the area called Myers Park. It was beautiful Black community. And this was quite some time ago, probably pushing 15, 20 years ago, maybe. And these were single family homes, beautiful, all Black communities, business owners. These were people who were educated. Those homes are now, unfortunately, is now one of my favorite hangouts, because those homes are now gone. These people have been displaced for years. And they're like a $3 or $4 million home that's being built there now in Charlotte, in this area that was once inhabited by Black people, Black homeowners, single family homes. And someone posted a picture in one of the Charlotte groups where they showed the difference in like the infrastructure and the growth, and how just the streets kept getting wider and wider. And so there's like a house here, and then the street, you can just see it just inching closer, and just how the growth and how eminent domain and how Black people lost their properties to the growth. And unfortunately, they were alleged to have been sold out by a Black mayor. We have to be careful with who we ask to represent us, specifically when we're voting. We have to educate ourselves in understanding who these people are, who we are choosing and electing to represent us. We have to do the vetting process properly. One of the things that drew me to Flint was a lot of this stuff was stuff that I'd seen before. And the first time I heard Eric Mays' booming voice on my YouTube channel, and I'm like, why is this man going off? And now I'm like, oh, he probably didn't go off enough. It was some more people should have got cussed out. It's a lot, some more people probably should have got cussed out, and it's a lot. And so yesterday, this culmination of so many emotions of Dalton seeing the tide turn, and then they're coming to Flint to bring that victory emotion into this city. I hope that Flint residents embrace that, and that they are able to take that momentum, that inspiration, the courage, because it's not easy. But the community has to. Dalton when they came in, they showed what that cohesiveness looks like. And I love that. I love that they brought that energy.
And they did that they would show up to their meetings. There was a lady that would show up who had brain cancer. She had several different things. She was coming Throughout the 4 years, she came in a walker, she came in a wheelchair, she came in crutches, and she came there. She came. And so some of the things that we saw that Dalton had, one, they would throw people out of those meetings. And Kawana Mack, you've been thrown out so many times, girl. Look, power to the people with
you a real one.
That's right, because she was even handcuffed. You know,
a real one.
We've had over, I quit counting how many people, it was over 60 plus people been put out by Liddell, Judy, and Candace, and how quick they put you out. That's your warning. That's your next warning. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And they do it so in a jovial manner. Candace almost delights in you're gone. Bye. See you later. Well, on your way out, you can take care of it.
Yeah.
What?
It is in delightment.
No.
Absolutely. It is in delightment. And so we know that Tiffany Henyer put her name on things. She campaigned with taxpayers' money. You know, she put her name on billboards. She put her name on some city stuff. Well, we got the same thing here. Those trash cans. Not just that. We have secure or crime signs with his name on it, paid for by the tax dollars. And so those
with crime signs with the mayor's.
Yeah, they're on the telephone poles. Yeah, they are. Yeah, his name. They red signs with his name on them. Crime Stoppers, whatever that crime. Yeah, they're on the pole. So he's used taxpayer dollars to campaign with. He was told not to do that with the trash cans, and I know that for a fact. Okay, and he did it. Now that goes back to I think they paid $260,000 more for those trash cans than we had to. Now, did it cost? Was that $260,000 because they needed to get his name put on those trash cans? I'm just saying. And so that is what happened. So,
and it took forever for the cans to arrive, right?
The other company, Re-Rip, would have had them out quicker because they're the largest manufacturers of carts and trash cans. And they have 5 factories. So the rollout would have been quicker. It would have been quicker. And so, we got Carol in here. Oh, what's up? Look, see murder in the house. Yes, Shanetta Crime Stoppers on call. What? Crime Stoppers.
I think it's funny that his name is already on the sign. I mean, why not?
Well, listen, and they own the trash can.
And the trash can. The trash.
Isn't that ironic?
Right. Like
I'm just saying.
Writing the jokes for us.
Absolutely. So look, if you are just joining, y'all, thank you. Click like, share, and subscribe so we can push this out. This is our actual first show. And we're going to get into a couple of things. How are we looking on time? Oh, okay. Listen, y'all know how my show's. I'm sorry. Oh, look, I apologize. Look, I'm getting ready to sing. That's Anita Baker. What was the wonk you did on me? I apologize.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Yeah, I know I'm salty about that song in children's choir, Blackwell AME Church. They wouldn't let me sing solo. But I do want to say, we got a few more things I do want to cover. So I do want to say for the part with Jedediah organizing and bringing them here, thank you for that part. But the other part, Jedediah, you and Woodson, and the thing with Pastor, we got to talk about that. We have to fix that. We have to. I don't want to get into that because him and I have both good conversations with both of them, and I know that they were having conversations. We in Holy Week, and I want to keep it holy, except for it's Friday night. Just
all the prayer, all let me touch everybody, all the oil.
Yeah. So I do want to say that I love seeing the people from Dalton because their mayor did the same thing our mayor did and does and doing same thing. Same.
Dalton came together and got that girl.
He didn't bring a stuffed animal pit bull and go roar, roar, to the people. He didn't do that. I'm just saying she did that. Dressed up like a Black Panther. Nina Brown. It was Nina Brown. Okay. Thank you. I mean, some wild stuff. Wow stuff. Yeah. Wow stuff. So, but we're gonna move on for that. So I do want to get into Beverly Biggs had her court case. And so right, she had and so she had been given, I don't know how the PPO stayed on there. I don't. And I want to make this very clear because I own what I say and I own what I do. And so Beverly and I have a good friendship. Beverly has been there for me and I will always be there for Beverly. That's not going to change. This is not a campaign endorsement right now, although I want Beverly and Dumas to make it through. I'm going to keep that. And so for me with her case, so I'm going to say this. When each time I went to court, Bev was there. She was there every time I went to court. And so when she went to court, I showed up. Of course, I'm going to be there for her. When she had a tragic issue with her grandson, she called me that night. She couldn't even get it all out. I went over that morning. It was 2-something in the morning. I didn't leave till I don't know what time in the morning because that's what friends do. We support each other. And I'm going to support her. And so we have been through a lot of things together. So I want to, because I'm going to take the smoke out of this, where the video went. And I think AK is on here. And so if you deal with Beverly, because I'm stopping the trash and the garbage and all the who did it and all of this, because it's silly to me. Some people, when we work with somebody, and I have told them, if you are working with Beverly, you're going to have to deal with John. She's got, I think it's 2 court cases left that's in there. John and I it was a very I didn't fall out with John. John fell out with me, to be honest. He did. But when Beverly needed help with her court cases, there was information that she needed from me. There were conversations with me and John and her attorneys that she has. I think Katz and Jewel at the time. I think those were the 2. And so we would do conference calls. I'm not going to ever stop, if someone needs some help. My dislike for John, I didn't like what John did. Have I talked to John? Yes, I have. I deal with Beverly. I did. I had a personal conversation the first time. First time I seen John was yesterday. He asked me for my phone charger and made the joke that my phone charger was an old one and it had an old phone. I said, absolutely. I don't have a brand new iPhone. So you better go ask somebody else for a phone charger. Okay.
Right.
I did. My phone ain't what is the iPhone 29 now? I'm on the public serving budget. I ain't got that kind of phone. So Beverly is very close to John. She works with them. She works for him. They're very close. That's a relationship that she's probably going to always have that bond, period. And so I deal with her and I deal with John. So John and I had the first conversation really to where we really talked about that wasn't business last week. And I told him, I said, you said things to me that about me. I said that weren't true. I said, you hurt me. I said, because I am a loyal person. He said, well, you didn't vote for her that round 71 or those rounds. I said round 71 and 72. I said, Bev had told us not to. And at that time, and then Dennis had been talking to Candace and said, hey, let's just give her a chance. She voted in round 5 for Dumas. I said, and I said, she had said to me, well, look, Beverly walked up to me in JWC and said, hey, just, I'll get mine in the election. Go ahead. This is just not going, I'll win the election. And I said, are you sure? I didn't know that she had went up to Jonathan then prior because I hadn't been in my seat. I said, John, it was for 2 rounds. He said, well, you weren't supporting Bev. And, I said, no, don't say that. I always supported Bev. Bev had told us to do that. It was 2 rounds. I don't even remember how many rounds we didn't be in with that. I don't know.
It was a lot. But I do remember her coming up and speaking about it.
Now I'm to the point to where we abstain. And I'm still helping Bev because there are things, and I remain that I believe she won that election. Some don't feel that way. She had 589 votes. They did not certify. I have not changed it. Quit testing me with this garbage and let this city heal and move past this. So, and I told John, I said, you and I had a friendship. I said, I won't ever take from you. I said, even when people said things about you, he gave Councilman Mace a beautiful homegoing. He gave him a beautiful homegoing. His other things that he said, actually, I had not heard him or listened to him, but when I did, I was disgusted by it. Him and I had this conversation. He did tell me, he says, well, I was trying to get a reaction out of you and I didn't. I said, well, John, that to me was, I considered you to be, you know, a friend. I don't open up like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do that. And honestly, when it was said, I was hurt. I was hurt. You know, and you keep it moving. You know, I know he had a relationship with Mace. Mace trusted him. You know, Mace trusted him, and that was his friend. And we developed a friendship. But when it just started moving, I'm like, I don't like the way this is moving.
Yeah.
So Bev and I, we talk, and we've worked through a lot of things together, her and I. And so it was her court case yesterday. And so I went, of course, to the court case. And the courtroom was packed.
Oh, wow.
It was packed.
And it wasn't streaming anywhere.
No, they don't. Flint don't let you stream, because we didn't have some fights that made it to the little reality court TV. I mean, we did.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we did. You couldn't even take your cell phones in before. Yeah, because they didn't like what was said. They would meet you outside, call the family. So now you can bring your phone in. But you know, we'd have been on court TV. Yeah, y'all look, Google it. It's been on there.
I am.
Of course, I showed up, and the courtroom was packed out. It was packed out. You had so many people, there wasn't enough room. So she had so much support. Her and Kevin Tay, both of their cases. And so Leon was there with, I don't remember her name. And then Leon had his attorney. I don't remember his attorney's name.
Okay.
I don't remember his attorney's name.
And they both were there.
They were both there. They were both there. And so, but what's the name? He had an attorney. So the judge was different. I've never heard them say to the ladies, take your hat off.
He wanted the ladies to take their hats off.
He basically demanded that they take their hat off. And so he never heard that before. Yeah. And was stern with it. You know, he was very stern. He had already made up his mind even before. So
it's clear that there's some compromise potentially.
It was odd.
Maybe. It was just a lot. Okay.
Look up Flint court brawls.
Shanetta, send me that link. Go ahead. Whenever you find one good, go ahead and send me that.
There were some epic ones. And so with helping Beverly, because I had to, there are things that, number one, if I'm relaying to with her, if she's had, how many court cases? Is it 3 that were left? I can't remember. I'm not going to leave her just out there by herself with that. Would not and did not. So having to, and there were other people generally on the line, really just start talking to John by, on the phone. And they're very kind of like, we're not yelling at each other. I take that back. I think last week I yelled maybe 3 times at him. I did.
Oh,
and
Lord, you gonna cuss them out, or you just yell?
Well, we cussed each other back out. I mean, that's literally I mean, it's a mutual exchange. Yeah, the both of us was cussing. We were. But I think I hung up though. He didn't care. He called back the next day or whatever because it don't bother him.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, but that's just what it was. But it was But I think that I don't know where when I say, because number one, I'm human. Where do we stop or don't do? I know with how much he helps. He's her campaign manager.
Mm-hmm.
And she works for him, and she's got these court cases, and so she's had a long road to kind of to travel with people, with the courts, with them literally not certifying the race in the precinct 10. Big problem, because precinct 10 was a problem with Carol, and I went over to precinct 10, and it was completely unorganized. People didn't know where to vote. People were leaving. I called the county clerk and the city clerk. The county clerk showed up, Dominique Clemens, and thank you for that, Dom. And he showed up to straighten things out, give them a quick education there at the poll. But people had already been voting. They had been voting for maybe 6 hours.
Wow.
So people had left, and some people were saying that they were turned away at this precinct 10. So with all fairness to the other 3 candidates who said we didn't know the votes of precinct 10, we didn't. But the votes that we had Beverly Biggs at 589, and I think AC Dumas had 548. So they weren't too far apart. But precinct 10, huge problem. The city was not, I believe, working on the same map as the county. I don't know how that happened.
Has that been rectified since then, or? Okay.
They say it has, but I've heard there's been some issues.
Okay.
Yeah, but I heard there have been some issues. And so we're talking to Bev, and I do talk to John. So they didn't quit saying, I'm not villainizing John. I didn't come out and just drag John. I didn't. My conversations with John is very good at cussing, and I am a professional cusser too when need be. So it is a mutual respect. And so we had conversations. And so I had spoken to John. And so there were issues with saying Leon did not live, everybody knew, because we had the young lady with the Draco who said where he lived. He said, not just that, his neighbors were telling, and I put it on my page. I showed where he lived. I showed the car. I showed the trash can. So the trash can was out one night with trash. So I was on the phone. I had been going over some stuff with Bev. And then I had gotten on the phone with John. John was like, hey, well, I'll go get a picture I'll get the video. And so he had said, and then I thought he was going to get it, and it was done. I didn't know. I did not ask Beverly to go get the video. I did not know she got the video until afterwards. I did not know, because I wanted to show the trash can that was there with the serial number. John was supposed to, I said, what happened to John? She said, girl, John got on down. He got down the road. Okay. So that was the video.
So how did that turn into your fault?
Because I shared the video with AK Cole somehow, but the video was to be shared. And John and I had this conversation. Okay. We had this conversation. And so I'm not going to speak to Kevin Tays, because what he was doing on his page, he had that up. That was,
Kevin, he went on a whole, where in the world of Carmen San Diego mission. He took care of business. That he stood on business that day.
Right. So I don't want anybody to think, and they're putting this false thing that I went to sabotage her. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I told Beverly, and I told her daughter at court, Nell, I said, look, she can go back to court. I have no problem. We can tell, I'll tell the judge, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. So simple as that. So they can stop all this. Oh, she got it out for her. She trying to sabotage her. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not a person who, number one, she has showed up for me at court every time.
Yeah.
And I was going to make sure I'm there for her. Right. Now she asked me just to leave. No, just leave it alone. And I didn't even tell her I was going to do this. So she going to be mad. I don't want her to be mad. Because she told me, don't do it, leave it alone. And I'm doing it. I want people to stop. I'm not going to give them nothing to gossip about and then to, take off and run with it. I'm not going to do that. If she wants to take it back, then I will do it. You should bring on Mr. John and Miss Biggs to clear the air. No, Foxy, it is true. I have no problem. They are absolutely welcome to come on. Y'all know me. I don't know if we can do it on this one. We do it on this show. We having some technical stuff. Do whatever you want. Okay. Listen, if they want to come on right now, they're more than welcome. Just shoot me. I don't have text me the email address and he'll shoot you a StreamYard. Absolutely true. It's fully transparent. So, and I talked to her. She told me just leave it alone. She can go back to council. So
she can go back. She can.
She can go back. So there is no, I'm trying to sabotage. I'm working with, Working with who? There's not much time I put in with Bev. They really don't understand. Even before, it's been a long, and it's anything if she's got questions, or whatever. But he is her campaign manager, and there were legal things that she needed in her court cases. She needed them, and there was nobody to give them to her. And I didn't. I'm gonna withhold the information. Now that would have been sabotage. That if I had the knowledge and I didn't,
sending her out there just to
I wasn't gonna do
knowledge.
Right. I wasn't gonna do that. So if they want to come on, they absolutely welcome. They can send me their emails, and they got my numbers. They got my numbers. So absolutely not sabotage her, and I remain and stand on where I said. Why would I be saying I want her and AC Dumas to make it through? I would not be saying that. I mean what I say. Simple as that. Now y'all know Kevin Tay is a whole a maverick. he a maverick. He a maverick. He don't do when he is on something. He been on this for months.
And he's clearly followed through because he produced receipts and aid.
And then they said Kevin Tay is 6'2". Y'all stop. Kevin Tay is not 6'2".
How tall is he? How tall is he?
How tall am I? Just slightly taller. And that's why when he said he was 6'2", I'm like, dude, this is the bad. He went, and when Jedediah and Beverly went to the PPO process, you heard them say how many times that he went there to get the PPO, several times, like more than 3, to keep getting it and add stuff. His PPO was based on lies. Nobody assaulted him. Nobody hit him. Nobody threatened him. Nobody came in contact with him. Kevin Tay ain't 6'2", but he's determined. He's the maverick, but he did not. And so he made this lie. And first of all, how you gonna get a PPO when you're supposed to be living in Flint? I need everybody was mad about Mays and that laptop to be just as mad about that trash can, page 10. You cannot use anything that's intended for the city for other purposes. We don't pick up trash out in Mount Morris Township on dirt roads. We don't. So going into that court was just it was weird because that judge came out and he told him, you can leave now, just very stern, and I will prosecute you as far as the law will allow me for talking or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was you're the same color as we are. And this what you do. You got black women taking their hats off. Come on. Black women. I don't know what I'm gonna be looking like underneath that hat. I might be looking at. Right.
Yes, when we put a hat on, it's serious business.
The comb through.
Right.
And so
when we put a hat on, it's serious business. But to be that combative, it sounds that you're right. That's off-putting, especially when you're there to show your support and that the PPO and the language within it is not true.
Lies. I mean, he actually used a PPO from a prior one and put in there. He did. So Kevin Tay is about 5'8". Y'all know I'm about 5'3.5", but I say I'm 5'4". And so, but Kevin Tay is not 6'2", And
how maybe he felt like that.
In council, he said he threatened him at council. He has not been in council in 2 years. 2 years. 2 years.
My goodness.
So there's nothing wrong with people wanting the council person to live where they say they live. Period. There's nothing wrong.
You can't represent me and you're not my neighbor.
Right now, 5 votes. You know what we need to pass to find out how much is left in ARPA fund? 5 votes.
5 votes.
When
he's holding it up.
To be passed, we need 5 votes. He is occupying that seat. He put on there, he lives at the address that's in Mount Morris. He put that on the PPO.
Yep, and he signed it. And that chicken scratch, whatever that.
Absolutely. So to be very clear, I've said on my podcast, then go back and look, that he needs to resign because he doesn't live there. That same PPO, and we know he's abusing the PPO service. they don't ask you for a driver's license, which that was one of the questions I had with Bev. And I had that question with John. I asked him, don't they have a driver's license? And John was like, well, you know, this is Michigan. You just don't know. And Bev was like, well, I would think you do. And so they didn't have, so when Beverly was there with Jedediah, and she said, well, no, we don't. I said, oh, you know why? Because if you are in domestic violence, sometimes you only leave with the clothes on your back because they will take your ID. You may not have, that gives you enough time to get a new ID, to get your life together, to get away from your abuser. It allowed you to do that. So he abused this system, and he did it with that Shawnetta or Nakia. He abused it with her too. So he's learned how to abuse the personal protection order from people. I don't like that. And I'm not.
And that's just another layer of griminess to know that that is the reason. Because I did think that is kind of odd that you don't have to have, you know, your identification, but that makes sense because if you are fleeing a horrible situation where your life is on the line, especially in a domestic violence, depending on, you know, what's going on, it's you and the clothes on your back,
and that's all you got.
That's all you have. You won't have
your ID.
Wow, that is another layer of just.
And I will give it to who had said, Brian Horn sent me a text message, said, we got to unpack the layers. And Flint has a lot of layers and that we need to unpack the layers. And when we unpack the layers, then we really look at things. So yes, Beverly Big is concerned about her community. She lives in the 3rd ward, and she's pissed that some people don't live in the 3rd ward, and she's rightfully angry. And so we still got more people that don't. She's running on corruption, cleaning it up. You know, that's what she's running on. So I want people to stop saying I'm sabotaging her. Stop that. I'm trying not to cuss. It's Holy Week. But everything y'all think I might say with floor letter words and with the ing, please add it to my vocabulary that I'm not going to speak it out, because I am supporting Beverly Biggs and AC Dumas to the next level. I want them to. Now, them two make it. I'm not getting in the race. I'm not going. If those two move forward, they're going to have to make the best person win. Right. I'm not. You know, she has, you know, because I'm friends with Dumas. Dumas supported me prior. But I mean, I never had it so hard supporting Beverly Biggs.
Yeah. And if she's running on revealing and showing corruption, I would think that, you know, this video should not cause so much extra.
But they just want to name anything on me, and that's why I'm saying I have no problem. And I told her, take it back to court. I don't care. He needs to have his behind living in there. And then I want to talk about too that nonprofit that in that ABC 12 that he got 280 some thousand from. Then I want to also discuss that doing the research, when we talk about the 990s, did he or did he not? Now that one nonprofit that gave that money, y'all can Google it, gave 280 something thousand. That's on the IRS revoked list and the Ways and Means Committee suggested that the IRS revoke it. And why did they tell them revoke it? Tied to terrorism. So I don't know if he's tied to that or not. I'm not going to I don't know. But that one is on the list that he received that money from. And so that's on that list. And so they can Google it. Cross-reference that one from ABC 12, because hey, they've been putting it out there and it's there. It was that nonprofit tied to terrorism? You know, was it Tasha Parrish, St. Francis? You got to pick a side. Tasha, right now I don't. It's 4 people in that race. If it becomes on there and I have to look, then I'm transparent. I'll tell everybody. So what I'm saying is, you know, his 990s for 23 and 24 have not been turned in or supported. And then it goes to, so they've taken it and people are investigating this. People, so y'all getting it right. People are investigating it. So then they look to what happened to that check register. Why is the city of Flint paying him in his name, Leon L. Alameen. He was paid 2 checks, one for $30,000 in his name and the other one for $8,750. Not in his company's name, his nonprofit's name, Made Institute. City of Flint paid him $38,750 in his name. You've never seen that before. And
Because that whole register, that whole line with businesses
what was
and a
before, we
nonprofit.
don't know. Now, Dennis has been investigating and uncovering everybody, and we have too many irregularities, some serious concerns, and these are some problems.
Right, and the register has not been updated since
June,
almost a year now.
and they won't. They will not. And so that one nonprofit was revoked from the IRS because it was tied to terrorism. So, I mean, I think the lowest I would have said would have been sex trafficking, but terrorism, when they told me, I was like, so, no, I ain't running for nothing right now. I'm running to this weekend. And I'm gonna have that pound cake. So I don't think people know. You asked me so I'm gonna say this. Beverly Biggs knows that I love her and I support her. I would absolutely never sabotage her. I'm not giving people anything to run with. She wants to go back to court. I'm gonna go with her. Like I showed up with her yesterday. I ain't running from shit. Let me be clear. Not shit. Okay. Now, if they got a problem with, let them go run on that, because all this crazy stuff that just don't happen, it's just not happen. Somebody put, they want me in jail. Well, I want you to put leaving the house with a diaper bag. So, so I'm tired of the craziness, because I care and love my community. I'm not out there because I don't care. And people think I put myself in harm's way many times, and I have to be very careful. So I'm not out here doing this for just free, because I ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
I'm doing it because I love Flint. I'm doing it because I know we have a better future with the right people in office. And that's all over. That means at the county, that means at the governor, that means our congressmen and women, that means our senators, it means our president. And because that money trickles down. And we have been forgotten. And don't let that fool you that Mayor Neely is telling us, I sent a letter about the to release the fund. They ain't releasing that fund.
No.
He ain't got nothing to do. What he didn't do since 2019 was talk about that money. Or a couple of, this is not the bottom, it's the top, or I don't remember that little nonsense. We haven't bottom yet.
We hadn't seen him at a meeting. He hasn't talked about water, nothing. All of a sudden,
to make the water crisis go away. Ask about water quality. They don't know. Every single question that was just about, when we was asking about, because they want to take the $2 million, we discovered that it's not a fund. They don't want to do a direct transfer. They want to open up a new fund that they can do pretty much anything they want to with it. And Mr. Morgan will probably be in trouble for telling the truth, because he ain't got the answer when he think he got a lot. When he's telling the truth, it comes out. That's just what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, he can't lie. He's terrible liar.
Terrible. And so when he tells the truth, it comes out. And so the one thing, with Mr. Moore, he knows numbers. He not, everybody don't have that social skill or whatever, but I'm gonna tell you this. He need to have that check register up there, because I want to know why 38,000, 2 payments of, went in a councilman's, before he was council, in his name.
I remember that. And I remember that coming out when he came in. I remember that.
Right. So, I mean, so for me, I look at the facts, and look at, y'all Google that information and y'all can look it up. What we gonna call him Columbo? What was the guy that used to wear the white suits all the time?
Was it Matlock?
Matlock. Start calling Dennis Matlock. 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 Ward. Yeah, he be busy. He be busy.
Yes, then he is on them.
Right. But and the stuff he's revealing, that housing commission, shocking. But if you look on Leon served on that housing commission too.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
That housing commission, that board, that one, the housing commission, and also on that board, there were some issues. So listen, if y'all see at the bottom of the crawl, do you have that? I need y'all to tip Landon, our producer. Yeah, where did you put it up on the? You're supposed to keep it up all the time.
Oh, I'm moderate.
Listen, I couldn't get this tea to y'all if I wasn't with Landon. Okay.
Yes.
I could not do that. And so, if you would be so kind to tip the producer, because he ain't doing this for free, y'all. Please. He is, and it's the last. This is the first time, and like I said, I wanted to make sure it was different because I look at all my viewers. So the bottom of it is Cash App $ Hendrix Studios, HENDRIX Studios. Cash App $ Hendrix Studios. I'm sorry, did we the bougie? And also have Hendrix Studios.
I'm gonna make that a clip by itself.
What?
Hendrix Studios in downtown Flint.
That's right. Located in the lovely downtown Flint on the bricks. Send him some love. Send him some love. So I wasn't going to cancel this because I want our community to heal. And I don't want to give people nothing to take it and run with. Dislike me if you may, but my conversation with Beverly, her Bev, of what I call her, we talk. And I have to talk to John. Now me and John, after last week, we had 3 kind of bad arguments, Oh,
to be a fly on the wall for that.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
It's different when we were talking about the business because she needed the help and I needed to help him and help the attorneys because she had attorneys. People keep coming for Bev. They do. Yeah. I'm not just going to leave her out there. How would I look letting her stand out there and I know what they need? I would not do that. I would not.
Right. And she needs that support and from that familiarity and someone who has been through this debacle on multiple levels and having someone that's on council who has watched it and has worked through all of these different roles, that support, it's invaluable. I'm sure she appreciates it. And
I leave her hanging even when they were coming for me. They was running for me. I was, and I didn't, and I'm not. That's my commitment. All my relationships are not to be public. And I talked to John. Like I said, the first time we saw in person was when he shaded my phone. He told me
he needed a charger, but he's gonna shade the phone. Okay.
that part, and then he kind of dragged my little charger. He did. He definitely did. But we had some conversations before, and they were just actually me and him. They weren't in the conferences. And I do believe he wants the best interest for Beverly. I really do. John is different, and full disclosure, I had told John before when I asked him about, people were saying he was a racist. Now I'm going to cuss because I'm going to tell you what I said to him. And I told him, I don't really think you're necessarily a racist. I just think you're a fucking asshole. And that's what I told him. That's what I told him. And that, I did. He'll tell you. He will tell you. But John, like when he was going through his funeral, we did steal Stephanie's candy, and because he, I had to because he was so wrapped up in it was in the funeral procession in front of City Hall, and I had to jump out. He was getting sick, and so I think that when we look at all of us, I'm not going to excuse what he said about the black. I will not, and and I've told him that, and here's the thing: I didn't have that relationship with John. I have said this part before. To my face, John doesn't call me those names, okay? Because we have a respect for each other. And I don't know what the relationship is like with other people. I can only speak to mine. And that's what I speak to. He is her campaign manager. She's got all these lawsuits, and there are things that I have helped her on and will help her on in the future. So
Right.
let them put that to bed.
Please.
They keep making up stuff on me if they want to. She's sabotaging her. No, y'all are, because they need to stop. They better question why that room is empty over there.
During their forum.
I'm just saying, it wasn't because people love Bev. It wasn't that. People love Bev, and the thing is, people go where they're comfortable at. And if you fighting with everybody else and you shading everybody else, you shading me, you shading Mayor Weaver, you're shading Carol, you're fighting with everybody. She needs those people to help her or to support her. When you fighting with everybody in Flint, you giving them a negative taste in their mouth. And
Right.
Bev is a wonderful woman. And she is. And I did not, even though I was pressed to, I had people telling me to, I did not do. Just leave her alone. I said, I'm not doing that. Because if she called me, she know I'm coming.
Right.
She knows
And
that.
she expects that, and she knows that loyalty is who you are. Yeah.
My friendship with her was me and her. My friendship with me and John, that was a whole lot. I wasn't, and John will tell me she probably a whole lot, but I never had that. John, we didn't have that. We just did not. So, listen, do we got some time for a couple call-ins? Okay, so listen, if you want to call in and go, I'm timing y'all because y'all got to call on the bat phone. Okay, don't call in here asking me for no plan. Don't call in here asking me to fix something. Don't call in here with this stuff. This ain't roll time. Okay, Michelle Young, if you watching, don't give me no task. And we've been friends since we've been 4. Don't call. Do not do it. So,
oh my God.
Because she will do it. So listen, you can call in. I'm going to take some calls. Me and Sheena going to take some calls. You can call into 810-471-7849. So someone drop it in the chat. And look, don't call in here talking crazy because I stalked the stalker. Look, I'm under some stress. Okay.
She did. The stalker got mad that she cussed them out and then called her out for cussing. Why you? I'm cussing you out. How you cussing me out when I called to cuss you out? Don't.
That part. I was 471-7849. And so I'm gonna cut the ringer on. Listen. So we can chat it up. So if you want to call in, don't call in talking about some, can you do something? Or Tonya, I need to have Blight picked up. Tonya Burns is off duty, but I'm gonna eat that cake.
Please don't eat the cake. Look,
that cake gonna be and I don't even eat sweets, but that cake smell good. It smells good.
They're gonna be looking for you in the cake.
Listen, I know the cake. I have to fight Blight.
Unless Miss J come get it from you, because she gonna steal that cake from you.
I'm telling you, look, I used to, because I've always been busy pretty much my adult life. So my sister, so what I would do is, I had to bring cakes for like some family dinners. I would go get them queso cakes. Why my sister with her mean, and I would put them in my little to go, cake Tupperware containers. Why would my sister say she didn't bake them cakes? Them is queso cakes.
Now wait a minute. Now, why she gotta tell her? Why she out you like that?
She told me. Oh, this cake is good. Listen, I was claiming. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get you. Oh,
Listen,
that I got the to-go Tupperware ones. I was ready and made it look real, y'all. Because I'm a mom of 3. I nursed all 3 kids. Okay, my kid, and then I went back to college while I had kids, and so I mean, 2 times I went back.
Yeah, so, you gotta do what you gotta do. You scoop that cake on up in that pan.
I had no time back then. Kids running around the house. Look, Kessel Cake did just fine. You know,
I bet. And now you can't even find your pants. Look.
look, them the real pans. Bunt pans too. Can't find 'em. Can't
Oh
find 'em.
my goodness.
I got Mr. Jean, the cake machine. He said, "Keep going. What you doing? I'm gonna keep on baking them cakes for you."
Yes, he did a good job. That cake does look good.
810, the number is up there. 810-471-7849. 810-471-7849. Call in, let's chat it up. You know, I like that, you know, I decided to make the move to broaden and expand as we move our city forward. I appreciate that. And coming on here, and Landon, you cool, but you wonk to me though. He walked me before we was even on the air, y'all. I'm just gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah, I was singing when John was there preaching at the Pentecost. He hit the button on me. Just out cold. I'm like, he did. He walked. Listen, donate to Cash App $ Hendrix Studios. Not the sound effects. And he over there sounding like a late night DJ.
Yeah, I know. He got a deep voice on.
He does. Do you sing?
Quiet Storm.
Do you sing, Landon?
You said, do I sing?
Do you sing?
In the shower. Yeah.
Now, I do that, and that's
professional.
terrible.
Yep, I'm a professional in the shower.
I'm professional in the
There we
shower.
go. Whole
You can't tell me nothing. I mean,
yeah, he got a Quiet Storm voice on. Now he got his Jodeci voice in the shower. I bet.
When
Keep sweat.
Guess what? When the Beats came out with the big headphones, my kids loved them. And then my vehicles always had those the you want to do the Western names, they had the headphones. My kids would keep the headphones on the whole time because they was like, Mom sing all the songs that are man-hating songs, and Dad doesn't say anything. He sings all the way to Georgia, all the way to Alabama, all the way to Tennessee, yeah, all the way to North Carolina. You know, yeah, I so do. Because I be jammed. I got my Set It Off songs. Yeah, I do.
You Set It Off song?
You used to Set It Off song.
Oh.
I have to give you my playlist.
That's not like a Wheels on the Bus type of song, is it? Or
Wheels on the bus go round. Nah, it ain't. Y'all gonna be like, I like her playlist.
Yes, go ahead, send that to me.
So listen.
Set It Off playlist.
Listen, I had my ride music. I never, like I would have like going back and forth to Chicago, and some of my like the managers would go and they would drive in like the company vehicles. They'd be like, "Well, can we ride with you?" No. Just you in your car. No. Because that's my wind down. You get on that highway, you throw that your little playlist in, you good.
Right.
I'll be thinking
the music must please the driver.
Yes, and I'll be singing. Oh, Mary J. Blige. I'm just fine. Oh, you can't tell me nothing. That's my morning song going into work. Next thing I know, I'll be doing about 90.
Now I know something if I pull up to the light and I hear my milkshake playing real loud and look over.
Listen, okay, and I'm gonna share this one with y'all. That song by Kalia, that my milkshake bring all the men to the yard.
It's Khalees.
Khalees. I'm sorry. Yes, Khalees. So, and this is a
that's
kind
on Sheena's playlist.
It's on mine too. Stop playing. Because listen, I actually had I can talk about it now. I had actually had a miscarriage with a baby girl. Oh, I'm very personal. And we were naming her Khalees. We were. Me and my husband were. Because he would pick the kids up and my daughter would play that song all the time. And my kids would rap with him. They, I don't listen to rap really, but they was like, they'd be just, what y'all doing? And so the kids were getting to name the baby, and they would name her Khalees. But unfortunately, miscarried right before 6 months. And so yeah, it was.
I tried to name one of my kids Earl. She wasn't having it.
Earl?
Yeah,
Earl?
girl too. So luckily it was her, because if it was a boy, I'd have snuck it in
Wonk
there.
wonk yourself.
There we go.
Earlene. I was looking for Earlene.
I got some Earlenes. That's like Earlene, Geraldine.
That's
Okay.
it. You put the daddy name with the girl name.
Right.
Yes.
That part. Oh, wait a minute. Shanetta said, I do the same with them Sam's.
That's right. And that's not good too. They apple pie good.
Smart women out there. Put your own little stuff. Put your own little stuff in there.
Yeah, a little garnish, put a little doily under it or something. Yeah.
Look, them pies, and they got a good apple pie out to Sam's.
Yeah, the apple pie is on it.
It's on. And matter of fact, since I don't have all that time now, I make a really good deep dish, but I do buy Sam's apple pie, but I don't pass it on. It's somebody else's, is my own, because I'm not doing all that lattice work like that across that pie. I ain't got time for that. Where that woman at? I ain't got time for that.
Right.
I don't. I'm had 2 different boots on. They was Ugg boots. Both was black. One pair was the Ugg boot. This was about 3 weeks ago too. And I had one on. My son called them because they got the sequence on them, Ugg boots. That's I done had them for a little minute though. And he was like, he calls them my Michael Jackson Thriller boots. Oh, wow. And I had the plain one on, but I had to leave it in emergency. I had 2 different boots on. Two different ones. But I was leaving in an emergency. She says, yes, ma'am, and some Dean's ice cream. No, she not. And yes, and to top it off, I put ice cream on. Merck 76, yes, he was trying to name his baby girl Earl.
Earl. And they tried to save it with Earlene. Poor baby.
I got 3.
You got 3. What's your ages?
Now you make me think. What's that? 13, 11, and 9.
Oh, y'all was busy. 9, 11, 13. Oh my God.
I got the good snip. So
listen, my husband went and didn't ask me. He got snipped. He did. He didn't ask. I'm like, you're supposed to sign for that? He was mad.
I think only women have to get signed for. I don't know about men.
You did not. Listen, I did not sign for him. I did not. I'm like, you ain't got to worry because you lied anyway. But anything that we want to, since nobody wants to talk. So I do want to say this at the end of the day. Pastor Thompson is a wonderful pastor. He works hard. I need to send you the thing to play that too, please. He works hard for the community. He not only serves the community to make sure that the community is fed, he also has veteran services. He has mental health services. He has clothing closets. He has housing that he helps to house them. He has so many things that at that church, literally in the hood, that he has for the community. That church has been there for, I think, over 100 years. The pastor at Bethel Church, grandson, Pastor Hopkins, his grandfather was over at that church. And so when we look at what our community is, Pastor Thompson has the heart of the community. You don't get out there literally rain, sleet, snow, and make sure with the people in the community, that his church is not holding him accountable.
Right.
So it's this community. When other food pantries closed, Pastor Thompson found and made a way to keep it going. He not only loves this community, he cherishes this community. He is a servant of the Lord and of this community. So I am supporting, will be, and continue to support Pastor Thompson. And he did not get the 1.5? They didn't give it. Trump stopping everything. So when people are pulling up in the second ward, it is in the second ward. It is in Liddell Lewis's ward, and she's voting no on this in her ward because she can't set aside her anger. She did set it aside for me and voted for Bethel. I was surprised Nice job.
Yeah. But she can't do it for her own ward in a line that
Her own-
allegedly she's been in line there.
Well, they have said they've seen her in line. And so whether it was for a friend or was it for a neighbor, but they give good food. They give like some shrimp and, ground beef, turkey chop. You get some good food.
All of it looks fresh. Yeah.
Right. And so they work hard to get that. And then this time with Miracle Whip is $6, a jive $5.99. Yeah, I know. And look, and in the hood is $8.99. If you run it is. Won't be no potato salad. Won't be no sandwiches. I'm saying, it ain't gonna be none of that. What else you put Miracle Whip in? Won't be no deviled egg. You can't afford. Wait a minute. Here we go. You can't afford Miracle Whip or the eggs. That used to be a cheap one.
The eggs are ridiculous. It's $84. You got to. Am I gonna get gas? I'm gonna get eggs.
That part. Look, we got to get us some hens. Put them in a chicken coop.
There we go. And work it out.
Work it out. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are on here tonight. That I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm gonna send this to you. Don't nobody want to talk to me. Look at that.
They heard you cuss out your stalker, so they probably didn't want to.
Don't nobody want to talk to me. I'm gonna send this to you. Lord have mercy. So this, what's the 17th? It's a Thursday. This Thursday at the St. Mark Baptist Church, they'll be having a revival with Bishop Trotter. He is here. He will be given a revival at St. Mark's. They're asking for the public to come out. And did he send this to me? I don't know where I sent it at.
Start at 6:30.
You got it because you've done some artwork for him.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Can you email it to me?
It can be any one of them. It's a really nice. So listen, we need to Sheena, you got it. It's on my page. It's really exciting. It is at St. Mark's.
Mm-hmm.
It is at St. Don't forget, y'all, I will be on Saturday. I'm not going to be on all day because that is a day with me and my family festivities. My family is coming from somewhere everywhere. I'm going to send it to you.
There we go. Let me send this one.
Okay.
Yes, his revival is Thursday at 6:30, and it will be at St. Mark at 3020 DuPont.
Now, you know where the name DuPont came off of? DuPont, who makes, they did chemicals, which is now in Freeland.
Yeah.
Look, right here, we got a street named after DuPont. And a lot of our streets are named after big industries and very rich people. They just got very, very rich people. Look, the Mott's got Mott Park, Mott Street. They got Ridgeway Street. They got White Street. We got Ballinger Highway. We got Longway Boulevard, Longway Planetarium. Look, all our stuff is named after rich people. We got Clarissa Shields for a Black street, and congratulations to her and her win is the woman's heavyweight. She is the GOAT. You know, when they put up that she did drugs or whatever, I did not put that up because you know what? They always indict us first. I did not put it up, but I shared it. She had some cussing in her post. And so I did share her post when she said, look, it was clean, nothing happened. And y'all know, look, Flint, you can't, you got a lot of stuff. So Mark 76 said it's Passion Week. We're trying to be good. We are.
We are trying. We
Look,
have revival on Thursday to revive that spirit with Bishop Trotter at 6:30. Come dressed down. Come dressed down. Great music by Albert Strickland and Chosen and the St. Mark Sanctuary Choir.
She know all of that. Now say that again. Hold on, we're gonna play the video. Then you're gonna say it after. So hit Maestro. No weapon, don't wonk me. Fun against me, shall prosper. Da, 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 da. Look, cut 6 on Fred Hammond. I played that every day. I'm serious. Cut 6 on his CD. I didn't have the CD for, I don't know when it came out, but the year it came out, y'all, I was going through. So, cut 6. I'm telling you, Fred Hammond. But this was even, they gonna sing that song. Bishop, they gonna sing that song. Okay? They gonna sing it. So Bishop Trotter will be, take over, Sheena B.
We will be at St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church on 3020 DuPont in Flint, Michigan with Bishop Trotter. Please come out and see him. Dress down. Come get your spirit, get that respite for your spirit, get that encouragement, keep the momentum of the community going, be encouraged by his word, and come and see him.
With all this stuff going on, it's gonna be some soul saving and he didn't got a touch of it. It's gonna be some hallelujahs. It's gonna be something.
I hope so. I hope the community goes out and support.
I want to know. I can't wait to see what they can preach on. This gonna be good. Now, is it gonna be a choir?
Yes, St. Mark's Sanctuary Choir, along with Albert Strickland and Chosen. They will be there. Yeah.
Look, y'all. I'm gonna ask them, can I be an honorary choir member?
I don't know about that. Not saying no. You pushing it now. You pushing it now.
Sheena, I got aspirations. Thompson, I want to be an honorary member. Y'all know I got issues with not being able to sing that solo in the children's choir. So listen, so he's got the choir. What you say?
The solo of the children's choir.
Yes, it was. So, I told you it was when John was a preaching at the Pinnacle, walking Jerusalem, just like John. Oh, he was filled with the Holy Ghost. They was like, you ain't seen that.
They said that girl good.
Look, I think I was tied to like $2 then or something. They would just take them a little $2 tax. I was mad. Carol got a solo. She did.
She can sing. She can carry it on.
You swear she swears she can, but she all right. No. I never got one.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna ask him. I need to be an honorary choir member. I'm singing. I want a tambourine. Y'all know I'm gonna cut up with the tambourine.
That's your ministry right there.
Somebody gave my mama a tambourine, and my mama loved church. And God bless her. Her and ain't Dorothy. Love church. Tambourine. I'm like, why you got a tambourine? And the whistle. What? And why my mama take it to another level? Somebody gave her a whistle. That's what I said.
So she had the tambourine and the whistle.
Tambourine she had it. She liked the whistle then. Okay. And so yeah, okay. So she in the church. Hey, I'm telling you, she in the church with the whistle. Sister Shirley, don't play, okay? Don't play with them, Sister Barbara, Sister Dorothy, Sister Carol Ann. Don't play with them, okay?
That might get it started though. A whistle.
Listen,
Think about whistle during service.
Listen, they was jumping off. I'm saying.
All right, a whistle.
Listen, I took it. We went to a concert, and it was like a family concert. It was down at, it used to be, what's it, Pine now? What they call it now? Where you sit on the grass. It's an outdoor concert down in Oakland County. It used to be Pine now.
Mm-hmm.
Why she pull that whistle out? I said, what you doing? Girl, ain't nobody thinking about you. I said, who gave you a whistle? Why is you doing this here? And of course, she blowing the whistle. I was like, I'm done. We moving over here. You know, you got a whole whistle and you whistling with the beat. You know, but her and her sisters was partying. Like, y'all do y'all thing. So, but anyways, I know. I'm sharing stories, I guess. I'm sharing stories. So anyways, my mama would bust out a whistle and a tambourine, but I need to be an honorary member. Hey, Maverick, Kevin Tatum dropped in. We can't hear you, Sheena.
I think she muted herself.
She put her headphones on.
I had to switch headphones. My
Okay.
My earpods, they went out. But yes, Pastor Thompson.
Sheena gave you a new name. We're calling you the Maverick.
I thought that was Ariel's name. Wait a minute, Ariel already claimed Maverick, didn't he?
Did he call Ariel? He need another name. Like, I don't know, something like Stealth Fighter or something. He needs something more, you know.
Stealth Fighter.
Like Kevin Tay is a maverick because he like to ride in, do his work, and you know, he like a, you know, he a maverick. He's a loner.
Here we go. And then he goes off into the wind, and
he goes off into the wind. And we named Dennis Matlock.
Yeah, now Matlock can stick. We'll keep Matlock. I like Matlock.
Look, Matlock is on. Oh, Debbie is one of the two. Debbie and Diane, they show up. Look,
they do.
Please don't try Debbie and Diane Thornton, the twins. Don't do it. Yeah. You know, some people, if you want to go with you, I take them with me anyway.
There we go. There we go. Because they clearly are down for whatever.
And look, and don't try them because y'all think they white. Don't do that. You will get your feelings hurt. Okay? They do not.
I believe it. I believe it.
They real activists.
I believe it.
They do not play at all. So listen, I'm gonna ask sometimes, and then I sit with the choir. Don't y'all judge me if I open that choir stand and be like with the little tambourine.
You just lip sync, baby. You just lip sync. There. How about that?
Oh, that hurt. Oh. Okay, he over here laughing. Y'all ain't right. Okay, that ain't my gift. That ain't my gift. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep doing everything that I do with all them hats that I'm wearing. So look, Sheena, let me tell you this. First of all, thank you for joining me. We will be here again next week, Sheena B and me. We will be here every Tuesday at 8:00 p.m. with Landon, the producer.
Hold on, I got another.
That little soundboard is all lit up. Okay. It looks like, what's that little game that you can play? When you gotta reach back and touch.
Dance Revolution. Oh, I thought this.
No, ain't nobody. Look, my kids got that. I don't do that. Okay. Look, my dance. I did the lot. I did boots on the ground. I said, look, Jedediah, this is all I got. You know, I said, I know the 1, 2.
My boots gonna be at the door. I'm gonna sit down and cheer everybody on.
Back cross, and that's all I got. That's all I got for right now. I don't have time to do that. But this weekend, baby, with the family.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because then you have some food and some cocktails, and you think you are invincible and you can do anything.
Yes, you do.
And
Yes,
I
you
need
do.
that this week. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Debbie. Oh no, thank you for what you did
Oh,
showing up. So I am refueling myself. I am no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
amen.
It won't work. And I mean that. I am refueling myself and my family and my children, my
Yes.
uncles, my aunts. Look, after 2:00, everybody got to go home. We got to go home because it's going to be an argument. Remember what you did to me back? And so, when they got a little bit of money, folks buy the top shelf, So it's going to be a good time of all kind of food. And they got different days for food.
Oh.
They do.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
told you when I come there, I will, Mercy, this has been a nice after church show tonight. Don't tell, look, Merc, I want to sit with that choir, but don't let them know it's cocktail, it's beverages, adult beverages. That's what my sister be telling her kids. My sister Sheena, who owns Drinks Essence, these are adult beverages. I'm like, girl, why are you telling them kids that? So she has, it's adult beverages. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
I'm like, all right. Because I would be at the little kitty, little what do you call them back then? Little to-go cups that you would get from, what's the name?
The Dixie cups?
No,
The
from
little kitty cups?
Garden.
Oh.
With little red lids.
Mhm.
Oh.
They had an adult beverage in it for me.
Oh, well. You got to do what you got to do.
When you watch, listen, when my son started playing baseball, them kids was writing their names in the sand, in the dirt. When he started with T-ball, I had two of both of them, and my kids were in everything: tap dance, jazz, ballet. They were in basketball, football, gymnastics, hapkido.
Oh, you were one of those moms, yes.
I did. Look, I had a ball all on my. I was just gone, and then I took them to school because it was a walk. You could walk. I'm like, nah, ain't too many of us out here. Y'all ain't getting ready to be a speed hump for somebody. No, sorry. And they did not. Flushing School did not celebrate at that time Dr. Martin Luther King Day. They did not.
Oh,
and a kid was calling my daughter the N-word. So I'm one of them parents that he was. His name was Danny Little. And so, that didn't go.
You didn't forget that, did you?
Yeah, because I was going to mop him up. And so I went to the school. We made an appointment with the principal. And I'm like, y'all not celebrating Dr. King. Diane Stevens she was raising her nephew. You know Diane? They own the hapkido place on Saginaw Street. Okay. Diane and Connie. And so they were raising Andrea and Robert. And at that time, so they moved out there to Flushing too. And so, and Sonia's daughter, Sonia, and her husband. So the Black people, let me just say that, the Black people. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, this ain't right. So y'all know what I did? Got the Black parents together, made an appointment with the superintendent. Diane kept threatening the superintendent, by the way.
Oh, Lord.
He was going to beat his ass.
Oh, Lord.
Because he was talking slick to her, and Diane was a triple black belt, double black belt, or something. I'm like, you talking to black woman? Don't do that.
Oh, Lord.
So, getting together with the parents, changing that to where they celebrated it. And I remember I had taken some of my classroom stuff. We did a showcase and put Black history, this little border around, put Black history books, and did a whole the big display on their first floor. Had never been done before in Flushing schools.
Oh, wow.
And this was in their middle school. My daughter was going to middle school. And to change that I'm not satisfied with the status quo, you're not going to tell me, because we pay taxes, which was a lot of taxes. We had that house built at that time, but now, things change. You move on with your life. And I'm in the college house I bought my daughter. Mm-hmm. And life is good.
Right.
Good. And I made sure that we changed it, getting the Black parents together with the administration, that you have minorities in here. What I'm not going to let you do is not acknowledge us.
Right.
Because we play a part. You're going to, and matter of fact, they didn't even take the day off then. That was part of changing that. What they did, they were going to school at Flint was off. And my
Oh,
because look, we go to y'all in the school district, and at that time their dad was he was not I had divorced him, was remarried again at that time. And he was just not, he was like, y'all, you took the kids to a lily white neighborhood. I'm like,
Lord.
I took them to where they're passing the benchmarks at, and I took them to where my money could afford at. Okay.
Yeah.
Came from teaching. And at that time, Flint was not passing their benchmarks, and my kids were little. My kids are now, those kids are 35 and 29, 34 and 29 now. And so they were younger kids. And so that's one thing we have to work. And we need to be working not only with the county, with the school district. People buy houses where there's good schools.
Good schools, yep.
I'm telling you why, because I bought property. We bought a lot in University Park, and they were moving so slow on it. And it was just, I'm like, look, I had gotten a divorce and built the whole house by then. It was just terrible. They had not, it took Flint like 2.5 years. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have this kind of time.
Right.
And so when we talk about, things, how do we make Flint better? You got to work with the school system, but you have to work with the parents. Those kids come to school hungry, tired. Some don't have a place to live. Some live in shelters. They have food insecurities.
Right.
They come with low reading levels. The parents are incarcerated, one or both. And so we have got to fix our school system. And the thing is, we got to be able to talk with each other. If we want Flint to grow in population, we have to lower the crime, fix our schools.
Absolutely. Because that will bring in people.
Absolutely. And I wasn't satisfied when Chief Green did say, maybe he misspoke, but he ain't called and told me he did. We don't need a Flint gang task force. Well, I beg to differ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
10 children shot. And if we had a gang task force, we might not have had those amount of children who were shot, and some were fatalities.
Absolutely. Because he did. You asked him, and he said, no, we don't need one. And it was like,
we got the FBI. I'm like, well, how's that working for us? It's working good. Okay, well, that's your measurement. It's not. So, and I'm not going to bite my tongue on that, because some people don't get to kiss their kids goodnight. I do.
Yeah.
Some people can't answer their daughter's calls or son calls. I do. And as an elected official, I have a responsibility to tell you when your stuff ain't right. Let's work on it. I'll help you write a comprehensive public safety plan with a gang task force.
Right.
And why I've been asking for this since 2019.
Forever. And it still has not been
done. Problem with the leadership.
Yep. Hasn't come to fruition.
Absolutely. Anything you want to close with? Because Landon gonna kill us.
No, I'm just thankful that you allowed me to come on, and I love it. I'm excited for how this goes, and this journey is just going to be amazing. I'm excited for it.
So I hope everybody enjoyed it, because this is not my typical Saturday. I will be on Saturday. I'll be on Saturday with producer Jay, and that is my more counsel, get into detail, because I wanted two different things, because there's a fun side. Council stuff is serious. And people are like, oh, she do 5 hours. And and then producer Jay be like, if you want her to keep going, put in a 1. I'm like, what is he doing? So, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And Sheena, thank you for co-hosting with me, because I purposely wanted to have someone from out of town with a different view. And when I get to North Carolina, we gonna hang. I ain't putting no date on it. I did give you a date, but I ain't getting how long I'm gonna stay, because I plan on being there for at least a week, because I'm gonna live off my uncle for me. Listen, anybody got a young daughter? My son is 29, looking for a nice young lady.
I told you my niece. Wait a minute. No, he's taken. He's reserved or whatever. No.
I got an uncle. He's a nice looking man too. I think he's looking too. Why am I pawning off the men in my family? So anyway, I appreciate each and every one, and I'm glad that they can see it. Sheena, you've been a voice on here. Now they get to put a face with the voice. They're able to put a face with the voice. And I appreciate you for sharing this time. And Landon, you rock. Don't forget, y'all can always go back to donate and to tip the producer,
Please.
Cash App $Hendrix with the X.
Yeah,
Studio.
Jim's third cousin. You know that we'll talk about. Because you know I'm a seat. Well, we'll talk about it.
What? You was Jimi Hendrix's cousin?
Uh-huh. I just don't get any royalties or nothing like that.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Man, next week gonna be exciting, y'all.
Yes.
Next week will be exciting. It will be exciting. Look, they having a council meeting tomorrow. I'm picking up people from the airport. They shouldn't have did that meeting without me. I will not be there, as I told the city clerk. I won't be there. I got people to pick up from the airport and things to do. They should have asked. And matter of fact, they shouldn't have did the people wrong when they came to special affairs. I'm tired of them dogging the community and the people. It's time for that to end. It's time for that to end. So look, we don't have no going out music over here. And one more thing I do need you to put up before we go.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it was a text message because we putting some stuff final to rest. Scroll back down. I think I saw it. Down low.
This is from March back here.
Okay, let me resend it to you. I thought it went through.
This is all from March.
Yeah, I know my internet don't be working. Did it come through? Okay, so I want to say this because I'm just spelling this last one. I am always very appreciative. Huh? You got that one? Okay, I'm appreciative because that one's clipped of anyone who has helped me in this process. Every platform is not for everybody. Yep, that's the one. So I received 6 songs, and I shared with absolutely everyone that I was thankful. And it's being put on it. I never thanked, and people are stating this on their podcast. November the 3rd, 6:47 p.m. And Pastor Jordan has been a blessing to me. And I said it then, and I said it I don't know how many times. I'm going to say it again. I love what he did for me. I love that he when I decided to move to a different platform, he gave me 6 songs. Sunday, November 3rd at 6:47 p.m. I sent back to him underneath the song. I said, oh my God, I love them all. And thank you for blessing me with these. And then I put a heart. You had me over here crying. I sent that. I don't want the day over there saying, oh, she never thanked them. She never was grateful. She didn't. And I asked him, how much how much are you charging me for this? I had no idea he was doing them. I did not ask him to do them. He did it out of the kindness of his heart. He did it. He did it. And producer Jay called me and said the next day, I said, people are just blessing me to make sure I keep this podcast going. I said that. And I didn't, and I've said it so many times. He did it and blessed me. And I'm tired of folks who just wake up to lie.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it.
Yep.
I thanked him. I thanked him so many times, almost every show that and I'm thanking him now because he blessed me with something because I was just going to do Facebook Live. I was going to just take a break. So much information because we need people. That's why I put up the details. I take the time to, when I'm producing the show, to make sure I'm writing it so you see I'm not just talking, I'm showing you where it's listed at. I'm educating everyone with me with the charter, where to find it, what page number, and then putting it up if you want to go back to reference it. That is what I do. I am forever grateful to him for that. I am grateful then as I showed November, and I'm grateful now and talked about it. And so I don't want people to keep saying, oh, she was absolutely. And I called it too, and because when people bless you with some things, when they bless you, they do something. And he had the foresight. I didn't have the vision to do that. I had asked for it before how to do it, and I didn't have it. He gave me 6 beautiful songs. And I did ask him, how much are you? He says, I'm not charging. Those are yours. Do what you want to do with them. He blessed me with those. So when they already telling lies, they need to stop that. Stop that. It's hurting our community. Now apologize to say that I did. Now apologize for all. I'm tired of the mess. Tired of the mess. Foxy, you do have a reputation for not paying people. At least that's what a lot of people say. You don't owe me. That's your business. I say have the people on the show to debunk these allegations. I don't know who a lot of people is, because let me be very, I don't know what that means, because here was my thing, number one, and it's with Mickey Jordan. I call names. And Mickey can sit up and say he wasn't getting money, but I'm gonna tell you that little thing was ching, ching, chinging going off. Now, if he felt at the time, because the agreement was with him, I used to pay, his charge was $100 a month. I stated to him, we can do the $100 a month, or you can take whatever donation, 100% of it. I never kept a dime. Never kept a dime. Producer Jay will not keep anything with Landon. So it is not, this is my little stalker. I guarantee.
Of course. Oh my God. Of course.
And so it's not a reputation, it's people lying. A reputation means a track record of it. But people lying, they have a track record of that. And what I said to him was, you can keep 100%. And I never saw them. I didn't ask him. It was a trust factor. If he felt he wasn't getting enough, all he had to do was say, hey, Tonya, I got zero. But not one time did that thing go off and not say anything, because people were donating. My friends were donating during my show. I didn't get that money. I said, don't give it to me. Do it to Cash App during the show, please, and thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing would be going off. He didn't have to stay. If it was a problem with my shows going long, if that was too long for you, then guess what? That's not my place for you. He never said that while I was there. He complained after I left. Not one time did Mickey Jordan say, Tonya, this is too long. He didn't do that. He didn't. And if he wanted to get paid for, hey, do the show for 1 hour, 2 hours, and $100, then him as a businessman should have came and said, I want to just get that. But he didn't do that. That Cash App will be going off. Ask him for his Cash App, y'all, on Saturdays, what he got or throughout. I never saw it, but I know it'll be going off. I know my friends were donating.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jan Marie, and they might say, oh, well, that was just $25. JWC, Michelle was donating. I mean, and Stephanie Rogers donated faithfully. I mean, he was getting donations, because not just that, but then the viewers. I didn't keep any of that money. Now, if he wanted to change the agreement, you come back to say it. But $100 a month was the agreement with people. But he was making more, getting that. Now, what he was telling them, I don't know. But if he wanted to change it, he should have come to me and said something. He didn't do it. So thank you, Foxy Flinty. Those are lies that they're saying. Real business people do their negotiations. He didn't complain to afterwards. And let me tell you, when it split with the two, I did make a tough decision. I am friends with Dr. Weaver, Dr. Karen Weaver, and her husband, Dr. Rex Weaver. And I decided to stay with my people who I was building up, because I didn't want to switch back and forth. I didn't at the time. And so I said, okay. And I stayed, and some other people stayed. And Carol stayed, I stayed. And then, and I had a conversation with her, and it was not an easy decision. It took about 6 weeks. I showed y'all the text before on Talking with Tonya, where they was like, well, we want you to stay. I can put them up again. I wasn't begging them. Was not. I don't do that. If I got one view and I'm helping somebody with something, then I'm happy. But my views was made way more than one. Let's keep it real. They were. I didn't ask for any of that money. I was never told. There was times that he needed, it's too many hours, until after I left. Period. And so I wished him the best over there. You know, whatever that they doing, you know, I wish them the best. It's just not my platform. You know, if he could not tell me, oh, some days your show may go 3 hours, or your show may go 2 hours, or your show may go 4 hours. But one thing you got it, if I'm doing it 2, 3, 4, or 5, I got them views. And I'm sharing information with people that's needed. And I'm going through the process and putting up the documents, showing them where it's at. Because people want to be educated about Flint all over. And it's not just people here in Flint. They want to know. There is a thirst for knowledge. It's a thirst for knowledge. Because having knowledge is power. When you can speak what you know about and say, no, go to page. When I went to that Article 9, when they took our pay, our little poverty pay, because that's what it is. The back of it's the poverty pay for you to own that council. All that this mess I gotta go through for that poverty pay. And then they have to be the only ones consistently lying on me. Consistently. Go get some other stuff to talk about. Everybody else to move on. Okay, moved on. And I told y'all about we're with my attorney Terry Johnson, going over that in the top of that, in it stated, what was it at the top of it with the, what's the name? I'm gonna tell you. Y'all know I don't leave without my little handy dandy charter.
Which one is this? Is this the one that's been chewed up, thrown against the wall, stepped on, serve as a doorstop?
One is so bad the pages was falling off. Y'all know that. They were literally falling off. Where I said in the back where they used to take our pay, transition.
Oh yeah, transition, Lord.
At the top of it says Article 9, transition, section 9(1)(1), effective date of charter. Okay, but it said at the bottom they was using 9-202, the Ethics and Accountability Board, to take my poverty pay and everyone else's poverty pay. And it states down here, if the Ethics and Accountability Board has been a failure to adopt the ordinance resolution required by this charter, then the Ethics and Accountability Board may cause the council's compensation to be placed in escrow. Okay, at the very top, it states transition. Transition means to change from one thing to another. We were going from the old charter to the new charter. The new charter was dated and adopted right on the front. If they read the charter, the Ethics Board didn't read the charter. And it was adopted by the voters August 7, 2017, and became effective January 1st, 2018. So I put stuff up so people can have something to follow. Right. I give them something so people can't just go tell you crazy stuff. If he didn't like me saying all those, then guess what? It's not the place for me. I wasn't begging y'all. I'm okay with that. You know, I didn't have to do that. And it's not out of animosity, but I've never seen a man do the stuff he do. I just have not. I have never in my life, not ever in my life. If he didn't want to do 2 hours, hey, Tonya, I can't do that. Let's just stick to one. I would have said, okay. You know, or let's negotiate this. Then I would have said, okay. But you don't complain to afterwards, because I can keep them cash apps. And I ain't give but $50. Well, what I do know is you a liar. As you said, in November, I was sitting up in there going over the entire election with him. No, I wasn't. I left in October. Who was you sitting in that room with? It wasn't Tonya Burns going over no election. So I will keep it real. They keep putting up lies, and I will continue to fact check them. So yeah, I know I don't leave without the charter. I just like saying it that way, y'all. Oh, that Foxy Plenty. I don't know who you're. Okay, Mr. Burns, my comment had nothing to do with the other podcast. No need to become so angry. I remember Miss Barbara and others saying this. If it's not true, then it's not. Okay, I don't know what y'all about. Listen, I've been very transparent. I had a hardship. I got nothing to do with paying my bills. You know how many people's bills I paid? I'm not getting ready to get into that, Foxy Flinty. Look, I get poverty pay and I still show up every day. Okay. Right now, I'm paying attorneys. I'm no different than the people I serve. Right. No different than the people I serve. I don't think I'm any better. I've had my highs and I've had some things that I won't apologize for living my life. And if anybody think it's okay with what's her face? Barbara Moore. God bless her heart too.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even drudge her up. I don't care what she thinks. So if they're looking for anything, listen, judge me by the works I've done in my community. Okay, judge me by what I've done for my community. That's what people need to do. So I don't know who Foxy Flint is, but anyways. So Sheena, I guess we didn't clear up a lot of little stuff.
You did. I let you.
That ain't on you.
Get it off your chest.
It's off. Look, because we doing two different things. We got producer Jay and producer producer Hendrix. We got to get a little snap.
I got to get one of those things like they have on the songs, like Metro on the beat and all that other stuff are like mustard. I got to get me.
Listen, he doing them. I like this. Listen. So each of you had joined us tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you who tuned in later, logged on. I'm gonna send love to y'all, but don't ever think I know better than my residents. I faced hardships and trials and tribulations. I survived when they thought I would not be. I survived to see my children another day. I don't apologize for fighting for my life. I ain't gonna do that. And we got to do the show about the you and I really connected when we talked about the fibroids.
And endometriosis and PCOS.
So maybe we can do we got to do that.
We have to do that.
I just got so busy with other things. So having this new platform, we're allowed to do some other things. Hopefully. So we're allowed to do some other things that, the other platform is on. So, step over the noise, keep going. King Downey, what's up? Houston, Texas is in the house. He is in Houston. I appreciate his wisdom and I appreciate his support. I do. So to each and every one of you, thank you for joining Tonya Burns and Friends. We'll be here every Tuesday night at 8:00. Thank you for joining us.
Just to play something today, I'm gonna play
what you gonna play?
You want me to play? All right, so I can either play a commercial, like a little ad that we have, or I can play my intro just so that they have something to go out with.
Well, let's play your intro.
Intro, yeah, I like that.
Do you want the church going intro or do you want the cussing intro? That's all.
I want to cuss. It ain't Good Friday yet.
Let's go get the cussing.
Already, I'll end it out this week with my intro. Okay. Next week, I'll have your intro.
All right, this week is Landon's intro. Next week gonna be my. Look, I'm gonna send love to each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Friday, 10 a.m. And Sheena, thank you, and for your husband for allowing you to spend as much time. Some Wellers? Is it Weller?
Yes, he loves his Wellers and his Blantons, and yes.
Okay, well, I appreciate. He had me laughing on the way over here with that little hostage comment. But we're gonna leave that alone. So, listen, thank you to each and every one of y'all. And if I don't see y'all, I won't see y'all for Good Friday. Everyone have a beautifully blessed week and Good Friday. I'm sending y'all a heart and sending love from my heart into your home. Oh, so and thank you. We out of here. I don't know what this music gonna be like.
Tropics, I wanna fly to the tropics. I wanna go to a place so remote. Niggas thought I went ghost, they don't know where to find me. I'm finna hop on a boat and take my black ass to the coast to go get a taco. Crazy as hell, think it's a joke. Then I'm sending shells if it's carne asada. Baby, no problem. Shit, gotta talk my shit, cause nobody do it for me. I'm about to flood my wrist. I'ma hit you in the morning. I'm about to board my trip. Eyes too red, what you said? With the pilot blowing zips, smoking on tropics, I wanna fly to the tropics, fly to the tropics, I wanna fly to the tropics. I wanna go to a place so remote. Niggas thought I went ghost, they don't know where to find me. I wanna go to a place so remote. Niggas thought I went ghost, they don't know where to find me. Damn, I don't pin locations, ayy. Girl, my phone on D&D, miss your notification, ayy. And it's been like that for weeks. I don't